Hey everybody, welcome on back to You Gotta Try This with myself and with Ian Becker, the P&L Wrecker. You'll see that we have a 3-chair setup for those of you who are watching on YouTube this week, and that's because we have 2 guests this week, the Borrellis. Frankie Borrelli is such a nice fucking guy. What's up?
I guess I'll flash the 3-chair setup right now, but they're staring at your fat head right now.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's the singular thing. I gotcha. So maybe I buried the surprise there. Frankie Borrelli and I spend a little bit of time on and off golf courses because I do some stuff with the Foreplay guys when they do their Barstool Classic. I'll show up at certain cities just to sort of help out with it. And Mr. Borrelli I've gotten to meet on a couple of occasions. I've never been to Borrelli's on Long Island. I almost said in Long Island. We'll talk to him about that. So I'm going to talk to them about, golf because that's all of Frank's life. I'm going to talk to him about the restaurant because that's all of Mr. Borrelli's life. And I just think that when you guys meet them, they're an old school family that has a tremendous amount of love between them. They're the type of guys that cry a lot and all that stuff, all in a good way. I love the Borrellis and I'm honored that they're coming on. So Frankie and Mr. Borrelli are coming up in just a couple of minutes. Otherwise, I just got back from Nashville, just landed yesterday. Great time in Nash Vegas. Again, I was down there for the NASCAR race. We hosted a happy hour meet and greet at the Barstool Nashville bar. This isn't an ad, but go to that one. That Barstool Nashville bar, for people who've gone to Nashville for bachelorette parties and whatnot before, you know how much of a party town it is on Broadway. Right off of Broadway, by the footbridge that goes over to the NFL stadium, is the Barstool Nashville bar. So I think it has the benefit of being close to Broadway, benefit of having the Barstool name, so a lot of Stoolies will go there regardless. And it has the identity of a sports bar. Even though it is more of a live music and clubby type thing. They have a ton of TVs and whatnot. So shout out to those guys for making it so much easier for Spider and I. And then Carson Hocevar, the guy who did the meet and greet, he packed them in. Hundreds of people just waiting online just from to sign a diecast and all that stuff. Bottom line, Nashville was awesome. The food was great. I had done 2 reviews there. And Ian, both the reviews are places that I have been before. Sometimes when I go to a city for the first time, I tried different things, obviously, and they're hit or miss. These 2 are old standards for me. One of them was Peg Leg Porker, which I love the wings at Peg Leg Porker. And the other one was East Side Banh Mi. I think they do a fantastic banh mi. I didn't expect to get a great banh mi on the east side of Nashville, but reality had stepped in and had told me otherwise. Ian, I'm going to start off 1 second. Do you remember when we were making fun of Max Delente? At least I was. Max Delente is the big guy from Philly. I think he just got married, works with Pardon My Take. And I used to make fun of him talking about his Uber Eats orders.
Yeah, he went on the Big Boys Club with Kadik and Dana and Ella.
I do something at night that Kadik, we've also talked about, is that I will be laying in bed and it's like my fiance is already asleep. I'm like scrolling TikTok. I'm like, fuck, I'm hungry. And I'm like, I'm not going to order anything. Yep. Mostly because my fiance is right next to me and she would be disgusted with me. Yep. But I will open the apps, put together an order like up until the checkout and be like, if I was to eat something right now, this is what it would be.
We've all been
and
there,
it feels good.
And he was talking about how sometimes he'll put stuff almost like fantasize by putting stuff in his cart. So I went on my Uber Eats thing. I queued up all these different things from Arby's because I've only been to Arby's once in the past 20 years and it was to try the fish sandwich. So I said, I'm going to Uber Eats Arby's to my room in Nashville at 1:00 in the morning because that makes sense. As I go to do it, all of a sudden, my drug-addled mind says, you know what? What about Chinese down here? I've never been to P.F. Chang's. That big whatever chain. I've never been to Panda Express. I've only gone to mom and pop Chinese food stores, shops, and then a couple of more high-end places here in the city, Say Yang and whatnot. I left the Arby's in my cart and it stays there for the next time I have a moment of weakness. And I wound up ordering maybe 3 dishes from P.F. Chang's, an orange beef, some sort of fried rice, and some crab rangoons, some fried crab rangoons. Those 3 dishes, I didn't know that it was more family style. Again, I was not paying attention. I believe it was like $100 worth of Chinese just for me. I go down to the lobby to pick it up. The guy's got it in like 2 saddlebags that are taped together. I hung it around my neck like an oxen as I went back to the elevator to go up to my room and destroy this food while sitting naked in the hotel bed. And I got to tell you, it's awful. The orange stuff that people like from P.F. Chang's, throw that shit in the fucking ocean. The rice is okay, I guess. The crab rangoons were fine, I guess. But if that's their signature dish, and again, I got it to go, so it's going to be 20 to 30% worse than it would be in the restaurant and whatnot. I wasn't impressed, and then I woke up the next morning with the side of my bed sheets covered in soy sauce and just enough for a family on the bed next to me that was untouched. So I had a moment of weakness with Uber Eats this weekend. I'm not overly proud of it, but I decided to share it with you guys anyway. One of the only things that made that meal anything worthwhile was the fact that I had Pepsis loaded up in my hotel fridge. And Pepsi is what I think the drink that makes food taste better. One of the things that they want to talk about too, Pepsi, is their Pepsi Zero Sugar. It's the best tasting zero sugar cola. It's preferred by nearly 2/3 of Americans in a nationwide blind taste test. So if you're opting for zero sugar options, please make Pepsi one of those options. For soccer fans gathering around food, Pepsi is the match day beverage that brings out the best in every bite. Watching soccer and eating food is delicious, but when you have it with Pepsi, it's like your team scoring a last-minute game winner. It just tastes better. So match days deserve Pepsi. Midnight Chinese food runs in your Nashville hotel room deserve Pepsi. Sitting here in a podcast about to entertain the Borrellis, myself and Ian, deserves Pepsi. And most of all, you guys deserve Pepsi. So go out and get yourself one today. I was dying for that. By the way, it's very, very cold in this studio today. And Ian and I have a new sponsor that's going to be coming down the pipe in a couple of weeks. What the hell's the name of them?
One Bone.
One Bone. I had used they'd done some work with Frank the Tank, and I needed something to cover up a brand name when I was doing something for NASCAR. So I borrowed a sweatshirt from Frank the Tank. I don't think many people can say that, put that on their resume. One time borrowed a sweatshirt from Frank the Tank, and it was by One Bone. And when I taped that, I believe they had seen that and said, you guys want to get involved. So we happen to get a thing today. So I'm wearing this by One Bone. So shout out to them. They really hooked me the hell up. What else is going on? So we have the Borrellis. We have Alex Squarnacelli coming up in a couple of weeks. We have this guy, Uncle Roger, 5 million guys. Very, very funny. I'm going to have a little problem when I'm talking to him because he talks in like almost a put on Asian accent, and I can't help but go along with it. So I'm going to get in trouble. Uncle Roger, like I'm going to get in trouble when it comes around, and it is what it is. It's all tongue in cheek. So I kind of be prepared for that. We're still trying to figure out a West Coast trip, which we're going to try and stop by a couple of different places when we're on the West Coast. So keep your eye out for that. Manoli is dying to go to that. If you guys don't know, Manoli is one of the guys that does some of the taping when Ian and I go on location. When we were at Arthur & Sons, Joe Isidori called him cannoli for the whole day. But Manoli would be out there giving us a bunch of content while we're out there just trying to set up who we are going to have on the pod. Also, I spoke to somebody who spoke to Ryan Russillo, right? Who's the one who just fucked the coach? What was that girl's name?
Oh, Diana Rossini.
Rossini.
Allegedly.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I apologize. Allegedly, but yeah, Rossini. By the way, remind me not to get that name wrong, right? Like all of a sudden I call him Ryan Rossini. That's a fucking slippery slope. But so we got a bunch of stuff coming up on the horizon. And I'm really looking forward to it. Including the conversation that we're going to have with Frank and his dad in just a couple of minutes. What else is going on with your life, Ian Becker?
It's funny you mentioned that Uber Eats thing. Literally just last night, I maybe spent 45 minutes just creating different carts from different stores on Uber Eats. And I ended up not ordering a single thing. I
think that's one of the saddest things in the world. And I did the exact same thing. So much so that when I went back in to order a car, the next day to go to the track, I went in and I deleted my Arby's thing because I didn't want that. If that was floating around in the ether, and again, a moment of weakness. By the way, thank you to Maddie and Kelly for coming in last week, Mooby and Smelly. They just invited me on in the slot. So that's coming up. That's going to be a barn burner. But even when I asked those girls, what's your drunk food? They were like, oh, chicken Caesar salad. I was like, no, when you hate yourself. And I really think that I'm going to try and build off of that theme. Whenever I lapse in my dietary whatever, it's because for that one moment, I'm like, I just want to feel like shit. I want to be somebody you don't want to sit next to in a plane, right? Like I was going on a plane, in 2 days by the time that orange chicken kind of made it towards the exit. So,
and like our good friend Jenksy said, it's not your fault, Large. Like you told Gen Z about drinking. It's not your fault, sport.
That's right.
It's hard to get good food around America.
Yeah. And listen, the bars are open late. The restaurants are open late in Nashville. I had other options. I just decided to choose violence. And believe me, Max has done a lot worse. I don't know why I'm picking on Max. Ooh, another guy that I bumped into while I'm in Nashville. Just so you guys know how we kind of set up these guests. This guy named Pat Coogan. And he's an offensive lineman. He played at Notre Dame. His senior year, he was the starting center during the national championship game against Ohio State. The following year, he did his 5th year at Indiana, played in the national championship game again, won a national championship, then got drafted by the Tennessee Titans. So he was down there in the Nashville bar. He came over to me. He's like, holy shit, Large, I love your stuff. And he knew that I went to Notre Dame. He's like, nobody knows you went to Notre Dame. I'm like, people know. I'm just not Captain Irish. And he's like, when did you get out? And we're talking about it. He's like, I'm a big fan of Kadek's. He's one of the reasons I went to Indiana. Kadek was a big part of the recruiting process. And I loved his episode with you. So I just casually asked him, I said, would you want to come on? He's like, I'm in town for my sister's graduation in New Jersey in a month, and I'll come in and I'll do it. Just the nicest guy in the world. I love hanging out with offensive linemen. Nick, Willie, Kadek, this guy, T-Bob, right? Like all these dudes, they're the best on the football field as far as I'm concerned, just because I haven't interviewed any other football players, but I'm sure there's other fat bastards that I'd really get along with.
You don't hate my brother.
Oh yeah, Scotty, yeah, exactly.
How could you forget him?
Yeah, I can't.
We never mention him.
But we haven't had him on the show yet. But I think like there's always something to be said. Cons, a college football player, he was a quarterback, but Cons was trying to set up us going to West Point to see how the sausage is made when the guys at West Point are feeding 1,000 cadets in the mess hall all in like 25 minutes. That fascinates me. And I love going up to West Point, particularly in and around the fall. So we were going to try to do something before the 250th birthday, just because it's kind of patriotic to do stuff at West Point. The guy did get back to us and said, listen, we're just ass over head going into the 250th thing. So if you guys don't mind doing it closer to football season. I was like, oh, yeah, that's when I want to fucking go there. So hopefully early September, we'll get out there and we'll do like the training table for the guys who make the food at West Point for the offensive linemen, who I assume I'm heavier than every one of them because it's West Point. They can't have these big hosses. So again, we keep it a little bit sports themed sometime in this bitch, and we're having a good time with it. There is nothing that goes on with this podcast. I say it every week, unless we get likes and subscribes and all that kind of shit. And if you do leave a 5-star review, please drop in a question. We'll try to get to one every week. Ian, we have a question this week?
Yes, this one's from the YouTube comments from the Drunk Jets fan.
There you go.
That's my burner. Large, bit of a long-winded question here. A week ago, I returned from a bachelor party where I indulged in many beverages in the Arizona desert. Upon returning home, I ate a great deal of shellfish as a hangover meal.
Oh, I know where it's going.
A day or two later, I could barely put any weight on my foot and went to a podiatrist. After a blood test, my uric acid level was at an 8.3, which is teetering on gout.
Mm-hmm.
I know you have dealt with this. I am 29 and love all foods high in uric acid like red meat, shellfish, Italian cold cuts, which the doctor said to cut out. How do you combat the risk of a gout flare-up with eating the food you love?
So as soon as you said shellfish, foods that are rich in purines and uric acid. I knew this was going to be a gout question. I am a gout sufferer. I had my first flare up was awful. I didn't know what was happening. I had played basketball 2 days beforehand. This was years ago. So I was like, did I have some sort of stress fracture in my toe that I didn't notice right away? Did I stub my toe in the middle of the night? And then it just turned into something so much more than that. I've had a kidney stone that blocked my kidney. So my one kidney shut down. They had to go in and get it. And that was painful, but nothing compared to the pain that I had with gout. You couldn't put a bed sheet on my toe. And listen, they're going to tell you tart cherry juice. Tart cherry juice is something that you can have in your fridge. You get it at any health store. Mix it with a little bit of seltzer and a squeeze of lime. It's much more palatable. Actually, throw a little vodka in there. It's even better, but I don't want to tell you how to live your life. You got to pound down the water, stay more hydrated than you are now. The way that I understand gout is sort of like when you're looking at a big guy like myself, and perhaps the drunken Jets fan is also a big dude. By the time your blood is rushing to all your extremities, it does slow down. So deposits get deposited in and around the joints of almost always, or typically, your left big toe. And that bottom joint of your left big toe becomes more sensitive than anything else in the world. And the pain is a shooting pain because these crystals form around that joint. So it's almost like they're cutting into you. It's like, death by 1,000 cuts. I fucking hate it. This is the tip for gout, guys. You gotta get colchicine. Colchris, I think, is how it's marketed. Ask your doctor and figure it out. Like when it expires, then ask your doctor to re-up it, even if you don't need it. Colchris is the thing that saves me from gout flare-ups. And I can see them coming now from a mile away. I'll get the little itch in my toe and I'll know that I got to stay away from cold cuts for a couple of days. I got to start pounding down the water, tart cherry juice if you want to, some anti-inflammatories, but I'll start taking Colchris and it works. And the only thing that's the bad part of Colchris is it rips your stomach to fucking shreds. Shreds. You will shit out a nickel you swallowed in the 5th grade, but it takes the pain away. Like when you go to a doctor and it's like, oh, I got a cold. Well, here's a Z-Pack and take this for so many days. Meanwhile, a cold or whatever it is. Meanwhile, that cold or that chest infection probably runs its course anyway over the 5 days you're taking that Z-Pack. Colchris isn't one of those. It's not a coincidental medicine. I'm hammering into this drunken Jets fan. Get some fucking Colchris. Take a little bit more than they prescribe and take it until you shit yourself, which will happen within 2 days. 2 days, and that thing's going to turn your local into an express. I'm telling you this with the confidence. I fucking hate the gout. It's the worst thing in the world. So I'm telling you this with all the genuineness that I can muster. Take it until you shit yourself, but it'll stop that pain in your toe, and it's worth it. Other people will go on allopurinol. They'll take, those shots to kind of thin out their blood. I've never gotten to that point where I've had to do that. And I can tell you right now, I had like some tiny little semblances of it, but I haven't had a flare up now in about 2.5 years. And you guys know how I roll. Like I'm always eating Chinese in Nashville. And then I'm going to have, I had pate in East Nashville, which, should be a killer for gout. But Colchris, staying hydrated, anti-inflammatories, and if it gets so bad, then you'll have to get regular shots of allopurinol, unfortunately. Wow, this just turned into a health thing. That's Dr. Large now taking off. Ian, I don't give health advice. You know this. If there's a tip that can help me with seasonal allergies, send it in. I'll take it. I will tell you, I am a master of the colonoscopy. I've had 10 colonoscopies. You've never had one, correct? Yeah, but you're so fucking young. Anybody who's listening to this show and you're above 45 and you haven't had a colonoscopy, shame on you. Get that 4-foot camera up your ass pronto because they find a lot of stuff in there. And then gout. That's the only thing where I'll talk kind of confidently on because unfortunately I've had more experience with them than the average gorilla. What else? Oh, you know what? I saw my boy, Big John. You sent me that, right? Or Manoli sent it to me too. Speaking about Manoli.
I don't know that. I don't know how it had to be sent to you. I don't know how it didn't just cross your desk.
It did. I just didn't click on it because he was just sitting at another news desk. So for people who don't know, Big John Fisher, the Fishers are a lovely family. Charlotte, his wife, is the glue that holds that whole thing together. But John and Johnny, his son, who's a heavyweight boxer, he's more than a ham and egg boxer. He's a guy that could become somewhat of a contender, but in the meantime, he's selling out local arenas and he's a hometown hero, which is awesome. And he's a very, very good, grounded, well-spoken, smart kid. His dad is that Bosch guy who goes to the Blue Orchid somewhere up by Romford. I've gone to the Blue Orchid with him. It was an honor to go there. All of a sudden I turned into Frank. I had the best Chinese meal of my life at the Blue Orchid in England with these guys. So John was on some show and they decided to time him with an official person from the Guinness book, which I didn't even know was still around, to be honest with you. I know KB or something was trying to break Guinness records a couple of years ago, like real, obscure ones. So John did something where he was able to rattle off the most Chinese food options from a menu in 30 seconds. He just gave his regular order that he does to Stingray, Ray, the guy who owns Blue Orchid. So he got up there, they started timing him. He's like, shrimp bows, chicken bows, curry sauce chips, shrimp prawn crackers, blah, 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 blah. He just went there flawlessly, clicked it. I think he did 40 dishes in 30 seconds, Guinness World Record, which, means absolutely fucking nothing, but I'm happy for the guy because I know how great he is. But that's an easy one to beat. Like that, I think that would be an easy one to beat.
Can we start a timer right now?
Not for me, but like those dudes used to do like the Micro Machine commercials where it's like, you think that Eminem couldn't get up there or Busta Rhymes could be like, hey man,
here's what makes it 10 times more impressive. He didn't know he was going to be doing that.
Oh, he did it off the jump.
He didn't know what the task was going to be. That was sprung on to him like you spring on the guest questions sometimes.
I've never been to a restaurant, Ian. I can tell you this. If I'm downplaying what John had done because I'm an idiot and maybe I'm jealous of him, if I'm doing that, you'll excuse me. Here is my compliment. I've never been to a restaurant where one of the people I was sitting with was more familiar with the big menu than Big John. The menu at every Chinese restaurant, they're all kind of similar, as we know. The guys at Blue Orchid, Stingray, the owner, does a very good job like getting local ingredients in and around England and putting them on there. So they do have some inventive dishes. John knew everything on that menu. Everything. Because I was asking questions. I was asking it to the guy who was taking our order. I was like, oh my God, this looks so interesting. I love your menu. I'm talking. And John would answer it. So I use the term, how strong is your kung fu with this? It probably is a little more apropos when I'm talking about Chinese food. John Fisher's kung fu is as strong as fucking Bruce Lee when it comes to ordering Chinese food. A proper Chinese or whatever, a succulent meal. So congratulations to John. You're now a Guinness World Record holder.
I think we could get a Guinness World Record out of Stu Feiner for naming the most Italian dishes.
Something like that.
30 seconds.
Yeah, like I can't imagine that.
2 Fra Diavolo's, 4 oysters.
Yeah, I'll do a lobster fried. And that was one of the little hacks with John too. He's like chicken chow mein, pork chow mein, beef chow mein, sweet and sour chicken, sweet and sour pork, sweet and sour shrimp. Like he did do the doubles on that. So yeah, Stu. Veal piccata, chicken piccata, veal parmesan, shrimp parmesan, eggplant parmesan, meatball parmesan, chicken parmesan, like that would be something.
You're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Keep going,
are you fucking kidding me? I'd be going nuts on that. So anyway, he said it's like one of the highlights of his life, John, and that's obviously a lie, but congratulations to the Fisher family, and I wish them nothing but continued success. By the way, you can go back and see me eating with them. We dropped that as a video at some point. I don't even know where the fuck that video is. I was doing gigs with DAZN then, so I was in London. I'll try to find that video, and then I will try and get that out there. But otherwise, we also have an episode with them, one of our first episodes, Well, we were lucky to get the vocals on that, but either way.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to the footage.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to Frankie and his dad right now, and just know that this portion of the show is brought to you guys by Chef IQ. I'm pounding the table on it. I told my wife and my kids today, anybody that they're buying Father's Day gifts for, uncles, grandfathers, me, not me because I already have one. I'm saying get this IQ Sense from Chef IQ. It's these things, the probes that they have. So you're cooking perfect steaks. I bought 3 2-inch thick strips because they were on sale at the Market Basket in Franklin Lakes. And I brought them back. And these things, even though they were on sale, I still paid about $120 for the 3 steaks. I didn't want to mess them up. Perfect sear on them. I mean, I'm the sear god. I just threw these things in them. All 3 of them gave me, what do you want the temperatures on? I said, okay, I'll do 2 medium rare, 1 rare. And it took all the guesswork out of it. Honestly, Chef IQ is the name that I want you guys to remember. For the dads who take steak seriously, Chef IQ is raising the stakes this Father's Day with IQ Sense. It's a cut above the usual Father's Day gift. America's favorite wireless meat thermometer. Never guess when your steak is done, because medium rare isn't a guess, it's a number. The gift that finally gets dad to say, well done. It's a perfect sidekick for the hero of every cookout. It replaces visual guessing, poking, cutting with exact temperature certainty. Remember we had like Matt Gork on, barbecue guy? He's like, I don't do this anymore. Right? We're living in a world of AI where everything is being done fake. You're not going to help yourself out with a probe like this when you're buying steaks that are $40, $50 a pop. So let dad step away this Father's Day and spend more time with his family. Sense will tell him when it's ready. So use the code LARGE, LARGE, when you go to chefiq.com. Chefiq.com. If you use the code LARGE, you're going to get 40% off. 40. Anytime I'm getting 40% off, I click. Go to chefiq.com, use code LARGE, 40% off the whole site. It's site-wide. But I'm telling you, if you want my personal opinion, these guys do these probe sensor thermometer things better than anybody else, because I've had them. I've had them before, the cheapo Charlie ones. I've had some better ones, all this. These ones, the IQ Sense, I'm proud to have them on the show. So go out there right now, Chef IQ, use the code LARGE, get 40% off the site-wide, but try those sensors. All right, with that, let's talk to a guy who really knows how to cook and a guy who's been operating at a high level on the Italian food scene alongside his son, Frankie. Here comes the Borrellis. All right, so as promised, I have the Borrellis in the house. I had just spoke to Rhea in the kitchenette, and she's like, who brought all this food? I was like, I invited Frankie and his dad on, so they brought this food. How nice of them. That's what she said. I was like, imagine if they didn't. Yeah. Oh my God, I would fucking kill you guys from now until the end of time. So Frankie and Mr. Borrelli are in the house right now alongside me and Ian. They put out a spread for us in here. There's another spread over in the kitchenette. I've never been to Borrelli's. I'm never on Long Island. So I've never been to Borrelli's. And I did a show the other day where I said there's a couple places out Long Island that I want to try. One of them is Rob Key's, just because the guy is gone viral and whatever. And the other one was Umberto's. Yes. Mm-hmm. And I made the mistake of saying both of those restaurants are in Long Island. Ooh. Holy shit. What is that? Like that on Long Island versus in Long Island, that is a hill that you guys will die on. Do you feel that strongly about it?
Oh yeah. If I say in by accident, it's an immediate switch, like on. You're apologizing to everyone around you.
Right.
I don't know what that is though.
It's just on an island. We're surrounded by water.
Yeah, but when people visit the Empire State Building, it's in New York City, right? Like I've never been to the Eiffel Tower on Paris. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though Paris isn't technically an island. But either way, thank you guys so much for coming in. So for people who don't know, who are just absolutely blind to this, Frank's one of the guys who put together the whole foreplay thing. And foreplay has gone from being, hey, I wonder if we're going to be able to do something with golf here at Barstool, to being a behemoth. Whether it's in the Barstool store, people paying a lot more for foreplay stuff than when they come in just to buy a t-shirt. So it's profitable for the company there, to the classic that you guys do. And I've mentioned it a couple of times on this show. Being from my background, I've been to so many corporate events, golf tournaments and whatnot. And I think you guys do it as good as anybody. Yeah, without it being like, expensive swag bags and hookers on 18 and stuff like that. Like, I really think that Barstool and you guys, foreplay guys, have got that down to a science. So I'm telling you guys, whenever the thing comes available at the beginning of the season, find whatever golf course they are by you. It's competitive.
Yep.
It's fun. The finals get a little too competitive, to be quite honest with you. I don't want to work those.
People booed the winners last year.
Yeah. And then, there's real money involved and whatnot. So on top of like the Internet Invitational and all the other stuff we do here at Barstool, you guys really have built an empire. So I appreciate you taking some time out.
Of course.
Then on top of all that, I know what it takes to have a restaurant. I don't know why I say that, but I do. I think I know what it takes to have a restaurant. So all of a sudden, carving out time in the middle of an afternoon on whatever day it is today, Tuesday, to come in and bring a spread means a lot to me too. So thank you so much for coming in, Mr. Borrelli. All right, let's start. How long have you had Borrelli's?
My dad started in 1955 with his two brothers.
Okay.
And I'm working there since I'm 10 years old.
Right.
And I'm 67, so it's a long time.
And when did Dad pass away?
About 15 years ago.
Okay, and so that was a natural progression to go from you to you?
Oh, basically.
From him
like
to you,
I said,
excuse me?
Both, we worked hand in hand our whole lives. Dad was a young 72 when he passed, but we worked together. He probably stopped working when he was like 68, 69. He'd go back and forth to Florida and New York. And it was easy transition for me to.
How do you feel about it now, having a son who is kind of blazed a path other ways? Like, what is that an inappropriate question to ask? Does it cause familial strife? Where does Borrelli's go when you become a very young 72 and you're going to live to 110, right? And I'll take the over on that. And you decide to walk away. Is it something where you were automatically going to walk in just because you're also a Frank Borrelli?
I mean, obviously the dream would always be to become successful enough to keep the Borrelli's name going, but I just in the world now, the way owning a restaurant is going, it's not the same as when my dad was able to just transition into it.
Right.
It's so expensive. The restaurant business isn't doing as well as it probably did back in the 90s and the early 2000s. Definitely not, in the 80s we had the Nassau Coliseum right across the street. It was just a different world. And now it's like, I'm watching him, he's grinding, and like, would I want to leave what I'm doing here to go back to that? It's a hard sell. Nowadays, I feel like taking over a restaurant, it's not as simple of a transition as it used to be.
I agree with you 100%. People always ask me, would you be interested in starting something? And I tell them every time I speak to restaurateurs, and we get to do a lot of it here on the show, I'm convinced they all have something wrong with them. Like they're almost a little bit masochistic, particularly in and around big cities. Like, so having a restaurant on Long Island, I don't think it's as challenging maybe once you go over the bridge or through the tunnel into Manhattan, but it certainly has got its fucking problems,
it's a very
right?
high risk reward. So,
Right.
That's the biggest, moving to the future where, my dad and his brothers in the day, you worked hard, you made a few dollars, but that money went a long way.
Right.
Nowadays, with the expenses, the insurances, the payroll, the food costs,
Yeah.
your profit margins are way down. So if you used to got 20%, it went down to 15%. It could be 8% if you're lucky at some point, some businesses. So
when you look at your menu, though, you do have a huge menu. Like in that traditional Italian, when I grew up in Brooklyn, a lot of places would go from being pizza parlors. And once they had gotten like their feet underneath them, that's when they started to branch out more than just doing shrimp parm, veal parms, and chicken parms, and going and expanding the menu. But I'm looking at your menu again. And again, I haven't been to the place yet, but the Tuscan steak casalinga, 16-ounce New York cut, topped with caramelized onion and hot cherry peppers. How dare you? Honestly, like that's the whole thing with me. Like there are certain things here. It scares me when I go to places that have big menus because I'm the type of guy that I can make 6 dishes very, very good. So if I open up a restaurant, there'll be 6 dishes and 2 floaters, like 2 things. How do you handle that, having what they call skews? You have a shitload of skews if somebody all of a sudden decides to go deep into the menu and order something that doesn't get ordered that much. I've always wondered what the balance was there.
Yeah, so with the sauces that we make, everything seems to interact with each other. So you could whip up these dishes. So we really don't do daily or weekend specials because once we make a dish and someone loves it, it stays on the menu.
Right.
So if I keep adding dishes like constantly, it'll get bigger and bigger. It's tough to take it away.
It's also it's all categorized where like there might be a bunch of shrimp options, but it's all containing like the shrimp, right? So like it's a shrimp parmesan, shrimp marinara, shrimp fra diavolo. It looks like a ton.
We have a format.
But it's pretty easy for them to knock out 7 different options of shrimp.
Do you mind me saying that you don't strike me as somebody that is a fantastic cook, But are you a fantastic cook?
No, not at all.
Okay. Is he a fantastic cook?
Yeah.
Obviously.
In his own way, though. Like my mom cooks everything at home.
Oh, get out. And what nationality is your wife?
She's 100% Irish, basically.
Yeah, there we go. Right? That's what sort of puts
Irish
a tent over that fucking circus.
Yeah, she makes everything at home.
But she learned from my mother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So is your mom and dad from the other side?
Yes.
Okay. So they come over from where?
My dad was from Naples.
Okay.
And my mom's Sicily.
My mom and dad came over from Ireland, and my mom, much like most Irish women, couldn't boil toast, but she grew up in downtown Brooklyn.
Right.
So like through her friends' moms, she became quite the cook. My dad never really took to it, wasn't a big like chef. So it's the same thing. If I was a doctor, the last thing I want to do when I go home is have somebody knock on my door and say, hey, does this look infected?
Yeah.
Do you hate cooking at home because it's something that you put your heart into all day?
No, I don't hate cooking. As a matter of fact, I'll jump in and help out.
Yeah, but he gets yelled at because he cooks like he's at the restaurant at home. They've got
right.
this little oven,
All right.
this little stove, and there's flames going everywhere. My mom's screaming at him. You're not at the. You know how many times, Large, in my life I heard from my bedroom, "You're not at the restaurant."
Right.
And then I'd walk out and everything's beeping and there's smoke everywhere because he doesn't have the air ducts. And I mean, the restaurant, by the way, is massive. We sit 220 people. And the kitchen.
Do you have 220 in the living room?
Right? Yeah,
really?
200 dining room and
200 in the dining room, 60 outside, huge bar.
It's big.
The kitchen's double the size.
Yeah.
Right.
And like the storage area is double the size.
The restaurant's
if this guy was smart, he would have turned it into like a huge wedding hall. I mean, this place is massive.
Right.
It's massive. So when he's cooking in our little house in East Meadow, it's not the same thing. So that's kind of like one of my core memories is of him trying to cook, you know.
Plus cooking in a restaurant, you have your pots and pans, and when you're done with them, you just throw them to the side.
Exactly. Yeah, for somebody to come by and wash them. Right. And that's her.
My fingerprints are on the cabinets.
Everything.
Yeah. So then when you do cook at home, then is it all Italian? I have good friends that were out on Long Island, the Tamuccios, and Mr. Tamuccio had showed up late. I was over her house for a Sunday sauce. And when he sat down, we were already seated. And he said to his wife, who was Irish, what's that? She was like, no, we have an Irishman at the table. She pointed to the butter next to the bread, as opposed to having the, and meanwhile, I'm slathering it on, you know what I mean? The whole deal. Are you one of those like real traditional paisans?
That's so traditional. Right?
Cheese on fish?
Yeah, I'll put cheese on fish.
Yeah, but we're not. Yeah, we didn't grow up like everything had to be the certain way. Yeah. Like there wasn't stress in terms of like trying to meet some sort of Italian
We'd have
standard.
our pastas on Mondays because we were closed on Mondays. So everybody would go to my dad's house and mom would make the sauce on Mondays.
That's perfect.
Instead of Sunday.
I guess that's pretty traditional, but aside from that.
Yeah. No, and so when you come home from lunch from, do you ever come home from lunch when you were in school? Yeah. I was lucky enough.
I went to Borrelli's.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it. So I would come home and I'd have to put like Elio's in the oven or a nice Celeste or something that's as disgraceful as that. I think that you should be my size, right? You should be disgustingly fat and whatnot. Like, was there a time where it was Fat Frankie?
I've always, I got the one guy that comments on all my videos that my face is like the moon. But aside from that, like, I think it's all just building around my arteries, which obviously have family history. I don't think I'm gaining weight in the right spots. I think it's just going to kill me at some point. But
how much do you help in the restaurant? Like growing up, were you more than a busboy?
I loved it. Yeah, I was a busboy, delivery driver, host. I waited for a bunch of years. I managed when I could. That's really what got me this job, to be honest, is I started to take a little bit more of a role at the restaurant. And I started to think to myself, like, there's got to be more that I could do. I remember I was flying a drone. I bought a drone, one of the old school ones, a big white DJIs. Like it looks like one of the drones.
That was a Cadillac too, the original DJIs. Yeah.
So I was flying it around. I started this cornhole tournament in the parking lot, and I bought all these stanchions I bought all these like these wood stanchions. I put them in cement in the Home Depot box, and I built lighting at night, and it was like this like I rigged up a cornhole arena basically in our parking lot. Flew the drone, put it on social media. I was buying Instagram ads and Snapchat ads back in 2000 and whatever this was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And
did for like 2 years straight.
Yeah, did for like 2 years straight. It picked up a lot of steam. People started to come to Borrelli's. It was a younger demographic. We started to get IPAs in the restaurant instead of just having your traditional, just like Peroni bottles and Peroni. Yeah. And I was like thinking to myself, like, I'm editing a video. I taught myself to edit. I'm like, there's got to be more than just like putting up a picture on Facebook to like our demographic, which was, you know, the 45 to 60-year-olds coming to Borrelli's. I'm like, there's got to be more that I could do than this. I just had that, something just like struck me, and I love Barstool, obviously. So I kind of gravitated towards this. But without that drive of like wanting Borrelli's to be successful, I probably would have just done nothing with my life, honestly. He gave me the keys to like take it and like go and like, yeah, like bring us to this new age, show us new variations, yell at the staff if you want to. Like he's the nicest pushover of all time. He's never yelled at anyone his entire life. They take advantage of him for 70 years. It's unbelievable. So I would go in there as like an 18-year-old kid yelling at waiters and managers and all these people. And they're like, who the fuck's this kid?
Right.
I'm like, well, like you're disrespecting my restaurant. They're like, well, your dad never yelled at me for that. I'm like, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about in that. So that's like, I started to get a little bit of confidence because of the restaurant. So I think without that, without him being like the best boss and letting me do whatever I wanted over there, I never would have gotten that drive and like taught myself how to go for something.
Definitely a good education to work in a restaurant business. You worked in
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
catering, working up front,
Yeah.
dishwashing.
I was a line chef for a little while too. I mean, it teaches
Talking to
people
like
yeah,
dealing with people.
deadlines, all that kind of stuff. It's
got to get it done, especially with where
You can't get
Borrelli's
that
is.
education in school. What
no.
we could teach
Where
in a
Borrelli's is
restaurant.
too, like when the Islanders were right across the street, which is a huge part of the business, like everyone would come in at 5 o'clock. Yeah, get some of that.
We're
chef
family,
salad.
no?
Yeah, chef
Yeah,
salad.
is that okay? Yeah.
Everyone would come in at 5 o'clock and they'd have to be out by 6:55 because the game started at 7:05. So like you had this crazy. I still wake up with those waiter and server nightmares where like you can't get to every single person in the restaurant because there was that deadline. Like if you slacked, you were dead. So that really did help like the building blocks of my work ethic, I feel like.
All right, so a little break in the action to talk to you guys about Top Step Trader. Think you can day trade? Top Step gives you a shot to prove it before risking a bunch of your own money in the markets. Top Step pays out millions to traders every week and has paid out over $1.4 billion to traders all time. You start in their trading combine, and just like a football combine, this is where you prove you've got what it takes to step on the field with the pros. Show them that you can hit your profit target without blowing the account, and you can get called up to a funded account. That's where Top Step backs you with $150,000 in buying power to trade with, and you keep up to 90% of the profits. This is a wild idea. I like it. Like we had something like this when I was at Citigroup where we had our prop books, but like to have it be this easy is wild to me. So if you think you've got what it takes, you can start trading at Top Step today for as little as $49 at go.topstep.com/try this. New traders, use code Barstool to take 30% off your first no activation fee trading combine. So go to go.topstep.com/try this and use the code Barstool for 30% off today. If you think you can day trade, put up $49, see if you can. And if you can, they'll back your real dough and you get to keep 90% of the profits. That's the bottom line with Top Step. Good luck. And with that, let's get back to the Borrellis. I'd agree. I'm just wondering, how do you put up with then, like you have a restaurant that's established now into multiple generations. You have a spot on Long Island that is known, and it does get a little bit of a boost because of who you are, right? To have the game watches there. How do you put up with this influencer culture that I'm not helping, by the way, where you have people who probably don't deserve to have their opinions being taken seriously, come in, maybe have a bad day and give you a 5.0 or something like that. Yeah. Like, how are you dealing with that? How are you dealing with somebody who calls you up and is like, listen, I have 30,000 people that follow me and I want to come by and get a free meal at your, We don't have to do that here at Barstool. It's so nice that I have sponsors and whatnot. So I never have to take a free meal and I never have to be bought for my reviews. But do you run into a lot of that shit nowadays?
I see it going on in the community a lot, especially with the local pizzerias. You know, I follow them all, and they're all doing skits. You know, they're punching customers in the face and reenacting things.
Yeah, they're punching, and they always have like a girl with the yoga pants putting out the pizza and shit like that. You know, I don't mind it.
I wanted to start one the opposite.
Yeah,
I wanted to start one doing the opposite. Like, we got a phone call the other day. Can I speak to the? Are you the manager of the day? Like, can I speak to somebody? And right away you think it's
got it all over your fucking studio. It's beautiful studio.
Don't worry about it.
Headquarters gave largest studio, and now I'm getting sauce.
Yeah. Do I ever do that at the golf course? No.
No, you don't.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I want to speak to a manager on duty, like right now. It's like, oh no, got to be complaint about something. And she just says, I just want to let you know, I spoke to Anthony who took my order to go. He was excellent. He answered all my questions. And I'm waiting for, I'll go, what went wrong? And the food was delivered to the house. And my guests, and everything was perfect. The food was unbelievable. The chicken marsala was juicy. My guests are complimenting us.
Oh, that's great. And that bucks the system because it's so much easier to be negative.
People want to be negative, and negative gets views.
It does.
If I put out positive views every day, I'm not going to get any hits.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Negative views get, all the hits, and then people, go trying it. But it's such a pleasure when people take out their time, and it happens often. Where they'll call you up and thank you, and customers walking in and say, I haven't been here in 30 years, and I went to Hofstra, the school there, and they're visiting back. There isn't a day that goes by when someone said, my mom had her first date here. My parents met here, right? Every day.
Yeah, I'd sex in your parking lot. That's how I had a kid, all that kind of stuff, which is crazy.
We had a show at Borrelli's for the Ryder Cup, and he screened that. Like, all my kids were born here.
Oh, really? Is that what they said?
Yeah.
How's it? Is it good or bad for the restaurant to have Stu Feiner front and center when you guys do a lot of these watches? Because by the way, Stu Feiner is one of my favorite people in the world.
Yeah, he's great.
I say that one of my favorite people in the world. You guys are some of my favorite people in the world. That guy, his generosity is so downplayed. He's one of the most generous people I've ever met. Maybe only rivaled by Willie Colon.
Oh yeah.
And these are people that I met after coming out of a different industry.
Right. Yep.
And I think that he's good but sometimes he's not good for business, right? Like sometimes Stu can be, he's cocaine in your coffee. He's not for everybody. How do you put up with that?
Well,
like, is it just
for us? I mean, he's only positive.
It's only good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
rants and raves about it.
Loves us. Yeah.
He absolutely does. And I think it's one of those things.
He's so thankful. He's a great guy.
We did something once together where you and I had made a pizza somewhere on like the Upper East Side.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, you had gone out, you had hoarded yourself out one day.
It was a pop-up.
It was a pop-up, yeah, like in something like that.
For
so
slice.
That's the only time that I've ever had food outside of what I'm eating now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, this traveled okay.
It did, right? Hour and a half in traffic.
Honest to God, it's not as cold as I thought it was, and it's absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
And the animals are devouring it outside as we speak, as you would imagine.
You got the Norcina and you've got the baked clams. These are like the most famous baked clams at Borrelli's.
They're gorgeous.
Everyone absolutely loves. And we have these, and we've also got the stuffed baked clams, which you would usually.
Yeah, I didn't bring them.
We didn't bring those. But yeah, I mean the sauce, everything with the baked clams is probably one of our staples at Borrelli's. And then this is the chicken Borrelli, which is a long time standing menu item at Borrelli's as well.
But if I go, can I get a dish named after me? Is there a chance?
Yeah, you absolutely could.
Because I have
this guy with social media. He just heard him. He wants to find his own lane now on social media.
Is that the whole deal too? Like Frankie says, turning it into a catering hall or doing something. I know guys that are like large. After the pandemic, I made so much money on just to-go orders.
Yeah.
That they changed their whole restaurant around to accommodate DoorDash guys coming in while people waiting for fine dining. That's always a problem.
Right.
Like people come out dressed in their Sunday best. They want to have a nice little thing. And then there's some dude who shows up on a bike just yelling out a last name until they get
showing your phone.
Yeah, exactly. So have you seen that mix that goes from like the sit down?
DoorDash, Grubhub, Slice is one of the companies. And but again, they're taking a piece of the pie. They get a huge percentage. So they become 25% partners in your business without just giving a delivery service and an order taking service.
Struck a chord here.
But I'm telling you, that's where the scam is.
Everyone's doing it, but when you see that on your doorstep, there's a cost for that.
There's no one that's been railing against the delivery than large. Like he hates Gen Z and all my kids my age for just not going to places and delivering.
It does suck. I find myself ordering on Uber Eats from local restaurants. I'm like, what am I doing?
And
You're just taking money out of their pocket.
The food is 20% worse by the time it gets to your door.
Yeah.
The food is it's just the way that it is. Sitting down at Borrelli's or eating it in your car as soon as you get it, the food's going to be 20% better.
100%.
And we're purposely you're trying to get our steps in and then not getting our steps in to go get what the fuck are we? I don't know what the hell's going on. Paying a premium for less quality food seems to be the call of the day, and I don't get it.
I mean,
right?
a typical $30 meal on Uber Eats is like $62 now. It's preposterous. So like, how do we rationalize that? I find myself doing it as well. I don't understand why.
Some restaurants raise their price like 20 to 30% on top of the fees.
Just
you have two separate. We haven't done that.
But you will.
Probably will.
I mean, you have to.
Eventually, if you want to stay in business.
When you go out to eat, do you ever go to Italian?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that all you go to?
No.
Where are you? Where is your palate? I think I know Frankie's palate is probably a little bit more adventurous than your dad's. Is that right? Are you a sushi guy? Sea urchin?
He likes sushi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drives with his fingers and throws as much, wasabi on there as he possibly can.
What don't you eat?
Oh, you don't like, what don't you like? No, that always blows my mind. Yeah.
I'm not a big fish eater.
Yeah.
I started eating like lobster when I was in my 40s. So.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Don't you hate pickles?
Pickles.
I hate pickles.
Really?
He hates a pickle. For a guy that's grown up eating deli sandwiches his whole life, never liked the ice cold pickle on the side.
Really?
I like my steaks and pork chops and lamb chops.
Okay.
Yeah.
He loves to loves to eat out though. On one of our biggest traditions growing up was my mom would have prayer groups called Holy to Happy Hour.
Yeah.
So they would pray for an hour and then they would all drink wine and talk shit about the whole entire community probably for an hour.
God.
So every Tuesday they would do that. And me and my dad, they're still doing it. And we would go out to a different restaurant every Tuesday. So we would try different stuff. And most of them were Italian. Because he just wants to get a feel for what other places are doing, meet the other owners. I mean, he's good in that aspect, or he doesn't.
We have a place in Cold Spring Harbor called Grasso's.
Okay.
And there's jazz and music 5 nights a week. So we like that, like sitting at the bar, and it's almost like a city place with live music.
How long have you been married?
45 years in September.
How's the booze game? God bless you, by the way. 45 years. Yeah. What's the booze game with you and the wife? Do you guys go out, still have a couple of drinks at the bar when you sit down?
Happy hours. We sit at the bars.
They love sitting at bars.
Martini.
Me too.
She likes some wine.
I think it's the greatest thing in the world, particularly, and I never did it until Annie and I started going out. We had that one place, Arturo's, we used to go to all the time, corner of the bar. They'd hand me the remote control right away, have our drinks ready for us. I think it's a real one-to-one thing.
Cool.
Makes the experience much better. Do you have bar seating in Borrelli's where that's where the regulars kind of go?
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect, yeah.
Any bar flies that you need to kick out every night? Here comes Jim again.
We used to have a couple.
Once in a while,
when I was working there, would be guys that go there for every night, every single night, and you start to do the math.
Oh yeah, they still do that. Yeah,
crazy. Like if you had a Budweiser every night here for 365 days, like that's unbelievable.
It's the consistency though, right? It becomes a second home.
We had our 70th anniversary, and I did a special where like buy one drink, get the second drink for 70 cents, right? But then our steady customers we did it for what, 6 months? Almost a whole year, but my steady customers now were paying like getting 70-cent drinks when they were coming all the time.
Right. You didn't need to, right? Yeah. You give it to people who don't really need it. Do you
ever didn't bring in like extra people?
Wasn't that,
right. It was just making it cheaper for
They're like, this is unbelievable.
It was a customer appreciation 6 months. Yeah. Frank, do you ever feel like you have a little bit of a horseshoe shoved up your ass? Because when you think about it, you go and you say, I'm going to buckle down and we're going to kind of learn this editing part and getting the word out on the internet. And then that's what gave you the opportunity to come here to Barstool. That's a win, right? While your dad is still running a successful restaurant, and your position here at Barstool has an ancillary effect on his profitability to the positive. Then on top of that, you decide to be, I'll grab the camera phone and I'll tape you eating fucking pizza, Dave. And then that thing turns into the most viral food content on the internet.
I can't take any credit for that. I mean,
you have to take some of the credit for it. I'm not going to allow you to not, because that all right, Frankie thing, like I say, put a pin in it, Ian, because of that. Right. The familiarity of the all right, Frankie, and mispronouncing the fucking thing is what made me stay on almost every time, right? Because it sort of unlocks that thing, and that's yours. Yeah. And like when I got the first hood from NASCAR, it said, all right, Frankie, and that infuriated me. You know what I mean? What about all right, Largie, that type of thing. And then you go from there, and that's the biggest food content on the internet. Incredible. If you look at it over the distribution on that is, 100%. I've never seen, everybody who comes in here from the food industry is like, it's fucking crazy what those guys, and that's you being on that from the grassroots. Then you go and you start this thing with Foreplay, grassroots too. I was rooting for it to fail because I don't like rigs, but it became like this behemoth type thing. Like this is a success story that I don't think is looked at enough, and it's namely you. No, that's why I invited you on the show. I need a little bit of that.
I mean, to be honest, like if we're going to be, I'm very aware to the fact that all of those things started without me. So, I mean, like I have added my piece to it for sure, but I'm very lucky in the sense that I joined up with very successful people, and maybe that's a thing that is good inside me, that I can pick the right people to associate myself with. But I fell in love with Barstool and Dave Portnoy when I was in high school, and I was obsessed with it. And then I somehow walked into an interview, and his door opened up instead of the other 4 that they were interviewing. Like I love the other guys, but like KFC, K Marco, and Big Cat were interviewing people also. And maybe I wouldn't have meshed with them as well as I did that one day with Dave Portnoy. Like that's the grace of God in my sense,
I mean, there is, but that's the horseshoe.
Like there's something there. And then like with Riggs, he asked me to go on the show once. They had already started foreplay. And like I had this story about my dad. We were hopping the fence at Eisenhower Park, and we were getting tired of hitting off of the mat. So he would teach me how to steal the golf balls from the driving range and put them in our golf bag and hop the fence and go to a real par 3. Like that's how grassroots my upbringing in golf was. We never hit off real grass really, unless we were playing at the course, and we wanted to get a feel. He always said, if I was hitting off grass, I'd be so much better. These country club guys. So we just like stole the balls and did it. Like, we should be arrested for it. But like that story kind of took off, and then I joined foreplay. But yeah, I guess the point is like there's always been, my dad started Borrelli's. I just had a place to go to. I've been very lucky. I sometimes I can't believe it. Really,
I look at it as he joined a team like the New York Yankees, and now he's the number 4 hitter on the team.
That's not true.
Well, you're hitting 30.
Well, I have an idea. When your dad is saying nice stuff about you, as a dad who's been around longer than you, shut the fuck up, right? I mean, it's so nice, like, right? Because I can tell you complain to me about him all the time. Why don't we let a couple of these things get out there?
I feel he's batting.
He gets more of the credit than me.
He's batting 300, and he's hitting 30 home runs a game. So would you consider that a good player?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, no matter how much you can downplay it, and you have to downplay it because you can't be like, hey, it's all me. But there is something special about you that allows you to fit in all these different things and make them better than they were before you got there.
Conversation for me, for sure.
It is, and I can see that, and so I'm going to keep going with it just to squirm you.
He's running a 71-year-old business. He's the one that should be getting all the flowers, like waking up every day, grinding. I took it over from my dad. Yeah, but grinding, taking out mortgages on his house, like keeping the thing alive during the financial crisis. No one else wanted to do it. He's got partners in the restaurant. They're like, sell it, because they all, the 3 brothers started it, and he's really the only one. Him and my aunt Angela, it's his sister, and my mom's there, and a lot of family from our side of it. But like, they're the only parts of the family that are still doing it. And like, there's the other groups of the family. They all went down to Florida, and they're all living out their lives. And at any moment, they could be like, sell it, we want our portion. But he grinded to keep this thing alive, and like fought for his own family and his own well-being, because what else would he have done? And so to keep that alive for me, like I wouldn't be here without that. So, I mean, and a lot of people at Borrelli's, we have 30 to 40. How many employees do you have at Borrelli's?
Yeah, 30.
30 employees. I walked through there today getting all these boxes, and I'm looking at the same people that have been there since I was born.
Right.
Juan, George, Cain, all these guys that have been making all this food for, and I'm like, they have children and grandchildren now because he kept this thing alive. Yeah. He easily could have just given up.
All right, Ian, I'm going to do something I rarely do. I'm going to take back what I said about Frankie. Right? You're right. I mean, because honestly, I think that it's brave to come in here and sit down in front of Dave if you're a fan of Dave's for a long time. When I met Dave and I got hired, I didn't really know who he was, and vice versa, right? So it wasn't any kind of thing. I think it takes a lot of guts, but I don't think it compares to what you do. Like, honestly, I don't think it compares when people are relying on you, and there are people who rely on us here at Barstool on the 3rd floor and whatnot, but I think that any kind of small business owner, and it's more than a small business now, I think brave probably is the word that I'm looking for, because there's a certain degree of bravery involved. Getting involved with family, and I'm not going to ask any questions about this, but it's usually a disaster. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's always something, because if you're going to have a business that lasts for 70 fucking years, the people who started it will not be there when it ends. And so it always causes something sticky. And so I appreciate that you go through that too. I can just imagine, particularly if you're doing the heavy lifting.
70 years, family's never had fights.
Oh, good.
And his brothers, my uncle went to Italy in 68. The other uncle left in 75 to open a place down there. He kept partnership. They still own the land. They got their shares of profits and stuff.
Great. We had Joe Isidori on the show 2 weeks ago. Guy who does Arthur and Sons. Yeah. He's kind of a vocal figure, a Michelin star at one of his places. And he's opening up his Arthur and Sons down in Jupiter. He's like, New York has essentially priced me out. So when my people started to move north, I opened up something above Westchester. And now that everyone's snowburning it down there, not that it's a new phenomenon, I'm opening up the place in Jupiter. Is there any? Was there any idea with you to get the hell out of Long Island at some point and maybe go a little bit warmer? No.
No, we have a place in Pompano Beach.
But that's just going to be
with my parents.
Okay.
So we took that over, and it's a place to go back and forth.
He doesn't get there enough. I yelled. We just went to dinner last night at his house. They haven't been there. He's stressing at work. I'm like, go to Florida. Go for a week. My mom's like, we can't leave. We got the grandchildren.
My dad had me, so he was able to go there for the winters.
And this is where I get the weight on my shoulder.
There it is. It gets thrown right back on you.
Open up a whole fucking.
I apologize. Yeah. Can you pour me a glass of wine? I will tell you though,
I'm vacationing because I'm here now.
I think that it's one of those things where you guys do have a nice relationship, and I think one of the things that Frankie does is always try and put family first. I had a bunch of his in-laws at a NASCAR race. Uncle Dom, like all those guys, and Frankie's. The reason that Frankie had brought them there was to give them the experience of being on a grid, to give them the experience of meeting Jimmy Johnson, to give them and I think it's important for him to share some of the access that he gets as a Barstool guy. And did you hear what Dom did to me?
Don,
I'm sorry. Yeah. That's your father-in-law? I thought it was the uncle.
No.
So this asshole, I love the guy. Very, very nice guy. Honestly, very nice guy. I love Jimmy Johnson more than anything in the world. I said, okay, cool. I know Jimmy Johnson. No big deal. I'll meet, I'll get the meeting. So we're going down. I take him the wrong way. Like he's no business being on that side of the ropes. And I go over and I'm like, Don, there's Richard Petty, the king, right? Yeah. And he's like, nah, I'm good. I'll go see Jimmy Johnson. I said, okay, no problem. There's like Denny Hamlin. Yeah. I was like, okay, let's go to Jimmy Johnson. We get down. I see Jimmy Johnson and we go over there. I say, hey, Jimmy. He says, hey, Large. Again, he knows me. Yeah. And I said, I got a guy. You have to, he said, of course I will. I go over, I say, Don. He turns around, he's with Gruden or something.
Yeah, Gruden.
He said, just give me a second. He did that to fucking Jimmy Johnson, you know what I mean? 7-time Cup Series winner, the whole deal. Yeah, and I turned to Jimmy, I was like, Jimmy, can you give him just 1 minute? I don't know what the fuck to do, So I don't like your in-laws, but I love you, Mr. Borrelli. So did you go on the island trip with these guys, or was it?
No, it was just us.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we had just gone last year.
He took us to Ireland.
I remember that. Where did you play?
We played we made it more of like a touristy, a touristy vacation. So we went from Dublin to, and we went over to, it was to the west, to Galway. And then we went to the Ashford Castle and we played there.
Oh, that's cool.
Just a little 9-hole place. So this year when we just went with 4-play, it was my first time playing like a true links Irish golf course, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But I got to get them back over to play some golf because it was unbelievable.
My favorite golf course in the world is Old Head. Have you played Old Head?
Yeah, we didn't go that south. We should have. Though.
Yeah, I mean, just a separate experience for us. And then when we were up in Dublin, we'd played the K Club, which is wonderful. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you, we showed up as a bunch of Wall Street guys, and we get to that main hotel, and they were like, "We got an idea. Why don't we put you guys in a house on like the 15th fairway or some bullshit like that?" And I was like, "Yeah. Absolutely. I would do that too because we're about to get rowdy." Put us on the house. We're out there playing. All of a sudden, Jefferson Smurfett lands the helicopter, jumps out, hits 2 balls, gets back in the helicopter, and the caddy's like, he's been trying out different 8 irons all week.
What the hell?
You know what I mean? Like, so you kind of you see that kind of culture over there where all of a sudden you take a divot and almost grows in right after you. I think we're in Druids Glen and we're playing, and it's the end of the day. We're all sitting out on the patio, having a couple of pints. Everybody from town shows up. They give them a couple of pounds and just like this burlap sack, they stand shoulder to shoulder and walk all 18 holes, women, children, older guys, just filling in divots.
Oh my God.
And then while we're sitting there watching the sunset, drinking while people in peasant clothes, it was like a scene out of fucking Oliver Twist. No place like that in the world.
They just want to keep their local course up to
a little bit of gatekeeping, which I think is cool. And I will tell you another thing. The food has gotten so much better. So it was the laughing stock of the culinary world, Ireland, for a long, long time. Yeah. And now it's not.
It was horrible. It was one of the best.
Got a bad rap.
Yeah.
Very bad.
And I think it didn't get a bad rap because it used to be fucking awful. When I used to visit my relatives when I was a little kid, nothing that stood out to me as being something that I wanted to try next time I went back. And they've really amped that up. But do you spend a lot of time in Italy? Because that's a blind spot for me. And we had Jenks on a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you saw him. He blew up this fucking restaurant over there.
Going up I actually looked it up because of his
Florence. Yeah. La Regia or whatever. You looked it up. So I'm going to go.
Up the hill, make the left.
Yeah, the whole deal.
I mean, that thing went crazy viral.
Yeah. Are you guys Italy guys? Have you been there a bunch?
No, I've been there when I was younger. My dad would take us every other year when I was like 12 years old, 14. And then my wife and I went for our 35th anniversary for like 10 days, but we haven't been back since.
Were you blown away?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She would move there tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, loved it.
What part?
We went over. We went to Naples. We went to Rome and Tuscany. Tuscany.
Yeah.
Are you, and then when you go over there, like I'm having, what are we drinking right now?
So this is a Chianti Classico, actually, from Chianti.
Okay.
So I went over there and I got a bunch of bottles when I went over there on my anniversary. And you know the story behind the rooster. Have you told this story?
No.
So the black rooster, if you see a black rooster on a Chianti Classico, you know that it's only from the actual region of Chianti. And the story goes that, this is how legend says it. Back in the day, I think it was Siena and Florence were fighting over the Chianti region.
Okay.
Who was going to own that land. They had fought for years and years and years, 1100s, right? And the way that they decided, finally, they were sick of fighting over the wine country, that they said that the next day, that they picked this day, and they said a knight from Siena and a knight from Florence are going to go right towards each other from their own respective cities once their rooster crows. And wherever they meet is where they're going to draw the line. So the legend goes that the Siena said that they had this white rooster that they thought was going to cluck earlier in the morning.
Kind of racist, but still.
Right. But then the Florence,
the black rooster,
they went with a black rooster that they did not feed for like a whole night. And it woke up crowing like crazy early in the morning. The night took off and they took the whole entire Chianti region. So that's why it belongs to Florence. So now
I never knew that.
Yeah. So when you see the rooster, it's got to be the actual sticker. A lot of these places will get away with like printing a rooster on it. And like, I don't think that's as legit.
Right.
If it's got the actual black rooster on the top, you know, it's coming straight from Chianti. No blend, nothing. It's an actual true Chianti Classico.
I will never forget that. When I learn a tidbit like that, I very rarely forget it.
Poggio Amarelli is where this is from.
Poggio Amarelli. All right. But then how important is it for you? Because in the same vein, particularly from Italy, you have the DOP sticker for the tomatoes, Parmigiano Reggiano. Like everyone knows you can't drink champagne unless it comes from Champagne region. Otherwise, it's sparkling wine. But when you go in there, I cook at home with Cento. Like I don't necessarily pay up for the San Marzano thing beyond what I have in a grocery store. You know, maybe the 00 flour makes a difference because it has like a high gluten content or something like that. But how important is it for those distinctions for you to have in the restaurant as far as saying that I got the real San Marzano shit?
Yeah, we use a company called Verrazano tomatoes.
Okay.
It's just we've been using them for 45 years. So when the recipe works, I don't change it. So you can come in with some new tomatoes, this and that. So it's the same company. The quality's been good.
What do you sell more of than anything at the restaurant? Like, is it spicy rigatoni alla vodka and chicken parm?
Our number one dish has to be the chicken parm.
Right.
And now
which is funny because...
And now we do the drunken chicken parm with the vodka sauce.
Right.
That's popular with all the families. And these new dishes, this rigatoni norcina was probably added on maybe 15 years ago.
Well, it's funny, the chicken parm wasn't on. We have the original menu on the wall on Borelli's, and the chicken parm wasn't even a thought. No one would eat chicken parm.
Nobody ever ate. When I grew up, I wasn't eating chicken parm. Like we do veal parm.
Veal parmesan was
we do
really
a lot of veal,
option.
But back in the day, say we did 130 pounds of veal a week and 20 pounds of chicken. Now it's like
exact opposite.
300 pounds of chicken and 40 pounds of veal.
Does that piss you off? Are you a purist?
Today's generation doesn't really. You put veal on a buffet,
they won't touch it.
No, today's right.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking through like my own friend groups and my generation, I don't think we're really ordering too much veal parmesan. It's just not the option.
The classic veal parmesan, it's tender.
Greatest dish in the world.
Off the leg of the veal, and
I've probably had veal parmesan less than 10 times in my life. That's crazy.
Get out of here.
I just don't order it.
I had Eddie from Chicago come to New York a couple of years ago. It was the first time he had a veal parmesan with me.
I'm telling you, it's weird. It's like a lost dish amongst our generation.
You make more profit on a chicken parmesan.
Sure. Because you can charge veal prices for chicken parmesan now.
Say chicken's $2 a pound, $2 to $3 a pound, while veal's $13 to $14 a pound.
Right.
So a chicken parm
dish,
say it's $28 and the veal's only $31. So for the $3, let them order the chicken parm.
When you see places like yours doing well, but you see other places that you find maybe aren't as good as your place tunning it. Like I've gone to do reviews at places where I've seen people, and it goes back to the influencer conversation we had not too long ago. And I'm like, man, this is just kind of mid, but it does have that buzz to it. Like, I don't know who they paid to have a buzz to it, but doesn't it piss you off because you're pumping out quality
these buzzes
food?
Don't last. Like there was one Italian restaurant, I won't mention his name, but
Go ahead.
They were doing a vodka sauce, right?
You got a brick through your window.
No, they're doing a vodka sauce. Then you added on a big log of fried mozzarella on top of that, and then
I know what you're talking about.
Cheese
By the time you got to the pasta, it was
it was like
soggy.
$28.
It wasn't
chicken
real.
on top of that, and before you know, it started for $30. You're spending $45, and it looked great on the videos, but then after a while, people.
Those places, once you tried it once, you're like, I don't know if I need that again. You know, it was worth it for the Instagram story, and then those kind of fizzle out.
2 pounds of cheese on top of your.
And I know what you're talking about too. Is the guys probably like spicy vodka, rigatoni, a sliced chicken cutlet, then a bowl of burrata on top.
Yeah,
of it. Like there is.
You see those sandwiches like that sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, enough is enough.
I've been complaining about the slop bowl culture. Like it seems like everybody now wants to have food where they have to bring the bowl closer to their face as opposed to, and where there is no differentiation. Like everything is essentially that chopped salad.
Right.
When a chopped salad should be just chopped salad.
Right.
Everything's like that. Is that something that you have to do now to put on? I don't know. Is there a rice bowl on the menu at Borrelli's?
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
we don't have that.
You see it with sweet green and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure when you're on the road, you must be eating a ton of that shit too.
Yeah.
So as a traditional Italian guy, is that something that when no one's looking, are you in cava just throwing down
you got the classic spaghetti with meatballs where you twirl it on your spoon and you bring your spoon
right
and the fork together.
Yeah. Like gentlemen.
Gentlemen, right.
When I go to your restaurant, what shouldn't I order?
Oh, boy.
Like what's and I know this is not it's not a question where I'm like, what's bad? Oh yeah, we always carried last week's shrimp or anything like that.
No.
But what's one of the things that's the least favorite thing that you have on the menu that when people order it, you're like, yeah, I'll make it again, but I'm not a fan of this.
You hate when people order.
Yeah, I'm not
he's not an
I'm not an
anchovy
anchovy
fan.
lover. So.
If someone gets a pizza with anchovies on it, he always
No,
head.
I'll leach for you.
Yeah, but again, that's old school. Nowadays, it's not on the menu. People will order it, but
Are you anchovy guy?
70 and over.
I love salt, as you can see from my chin and my cheeks, but I don't like anchovies.
Oh,
Something
I love
about
it.
it.
I don't think
I love seafood.
I don't think we have anything on the menu that I wouldn't serve it.
No, like something that's not.
I know. I'm trying
Unfortunately, it's like sometimes you have to serve stuff that isn't necessarily in your wheelhouse. Like if you were to tell me, no, do the Tuscan steak casalinga, and I'm like, no, I'm here for the tilapia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know if there's everything on people's menus that they serve out of that they need to.
Like tilapia on a buffet, I would tell you not to get that because it's going to break up and
get
a little mushy. The salmon's really good.
Yeah. Honestly, 71 years at this point, they've just kept it pretty just fastballs right down the middle. Nothing's really changed. They haven't changed anything. Nothing is Instagrammable.
Classic comfort food.
I argue with them all the time. I if I was still there, I probably would have pushed it more towards the new generation. I think that may have been a mistake because like you're either one thing or you're the other, and like finding that middle ground. Once you find yourself in that middle ground, I think you lose everything, right? Like I always say to him, he renovated the restaurant in 2009, I think it was 2010, as like a last ditch effort to keep it going. He put a wall up in the middle. He took all the booths out in the middle of the restaurant. He put a wall up so that he could sell the back room for private parties and you can close it up, which has been an amazing business decision.
Good.
Because now you've got christenings and confirmations and wedding rehearsals. Every weekend is something
up to 80 to 100 people.
So that was something that was huge. But like I always think to myself now in the year 2026, what the coolest places are for our generation. It's like those old school, like what Dave loved. Dave loves walking into a place that's dimly lit. The pictures are crooked. They've got cracks and you can see a spider web in the corner. The old pizza guy barely has any hands left because he's been
red and white tablecloths. Right, I love that shit. Yeah.
But Borrelli's was that. And then we like renovated and now that's like 20 years. Like if you would have just somehow gotten through to this generation now, keeping that 1955 style, it'd be like the most Instagrammable place of all time.
Emilio's.
So that's what's really, really hard to do. I feel like to survive and get people to just get over the hump and be like, oh, now it's nostalgic. Because throughout each generation of your restaurant, you probably struggle with, we have to update, we have to get cleaner, we have to put TVs on the walls and all that stuff. But then like if you get on the other side of that hump, I always say like I sometimes regret not having those old school booths with those lights that came over the booths. And Don Zimmer came into the restaurant and I ran into the restaurant with my big Yankees jersey on. He signed me a little baseball and threw it at me. Don Zimmer was sitting there. Remember
That's
that?
fucking awesome.
I got a photo of that. Yeah.
How about Joe Namath came into the restaurant all the time and he walked over to them? What were you, like 10 years old?
So it was like one of those Coke commercials. He come in with Don Mated, Emerson Boozer.
Really?
In 69, I was 10 years old, right after they won the Super Bowl. And Joe Namath would come there every week or twice a week. They practice at Hofstra.
Yeah.
And so they're sitting in a booth and I'm standing against the pole and he said, "Kid, can I buy you a Coke?" And I'm like, "No, my father owns the restaurant."
Pepsi. It was a Pepsi.
That was Coke.
No, it was a Pepsi. Okay.
Oh yeah, because my sponsorship. Thank you, Frankie.
Shoot.
I appreciate that.
Can I buy you a Pepsi?
Yeah.
Beep it and red
That's
Pepsi.
so
I was just
funny.
putting my TaylorMades in the trunk. And nice. I appreciate that.
So,
Soda.
Can I buy you a soda?
Yeah. It's totally fine. Yeah. RC.
So anyway, I said, "No, my dad owns the restaurant. You don't do that." So I'm standing there, and he says, "Come on, sit in the booth." And he shows me a Super Bowl ring.
That's fantastic.
After he signed autographs. Back then, there was no photos because no one had cell phones, obviously, and signed autographs. But another story about Joe Namath. We had this pizza man, Bruno. He was like a gigolo. He was a 25, handsome Italian guy from Italy making pizzas, and we'd be open at 2 a.m. And he had this red Cadillac that he bought from a bookie with a convertible, white seats. And found out later on it was a stolen car. He found,
Sure.
he didn't know it.
Yeah. I knew it. Yeah.
We all knew it.
But Joe Namath would call up Bruno, "Come on, we're going to go out." And he goes, "I don't get off till like 12 o'clock. And Joe Namath would come down and wait for him and they'd go clubbing.
At
Borrelli's. And this guy, Bruno, came in last year. I haven't seen him. He was 80 years old. And he came to see me. He told me that story. And I never knew it. I was 10 years old at the time.
And he's ripping up with Joe Namath.
Joe Namath, they'd go out every night.
Is that the biggest name that's been at Borrelli's? I mean, you guys have had a who's who.
I mean, that's a pretty big one, especially how big he was then in 69.
Played across the street. Obviously, all the Islanders have been there.
Yeah.
Right.
Stanley Cup players. Patrick Ewing and a lot of the basketball players when they came by. Willie Nelson.
Seinfeld came in.
Seinfeld.
So hold on. So we're talking about you like Seinfeld. That makes sense, right? Like if you're going towards it and you're saying basketball players and Islanders and whatnot. So when does Willie Nelson all of a sudden show up at Borrelli's?
It was concert.
Oh shit! Yeah.
He was just sitting in the booth, and that's Willie Nelson.
So for all I heard my whole life are all these stories of all these famous people coming in because we're right across the street from the Coliseum, and the Coliseum was massive. I mean, you're talking Billy Joel, and like it was just the place to be. Did the Beatles ever play at the Coliseum? No.
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney did. Yeah.
Okay.
Wings played there a bunch of times.
But and I never, as I grew up, it was all like current hockey players that I really used to get crazy for that they would come in. Alexei Yashin came in with Carol Alt. And I remember that being a huge deal. Carol Alt.
She was a big fan.
That was her favorite restaurant. And in her, she had a book.
Wait, but who was Alt married to?
Alexei Yashin. It was an Islander.
No, a Ranger too.
He was also
Duguay.
Ron Duguay?
Yeah.
Somebody else.
Maybe.
I remember, yeah.
But didn't she like write in like an article for a swimsuit edition that her favorite cheat meal was at Borrelli's restaurant? It's like, holy
that's awesome.
Yeah.
She was, I had a sock named after her. I was like, she was big back in the day.
I remember this was a couple years before Barstool started, before I started Barstool. I was in the restaurant and then I walked around the corner and there was this guy sitting in the bar and he was looking up and he had just like a water and maybe a soda next to him. He was looking up at the TV. And it was when, and this may have even been when I started at Barstool, but it was when that Geico commercial was playing with Eddie Money singing 2 Tickets. I got 2 Tickets to Paradise.
Yeah.
And it was going on like, so I don't remember what time that was, but it was going on every single second of the day. You remember that?
Yeah. It was always on.
So I walked into the bar and I go, this fucking commercial, I'm sick of it. And the guy turns around and goes, "Oh, you don't like that one?" And it was Eddie Money.
Oh, that's tough.
It was Eddie Money.
Tough. That's
he was
tough.
sitting there. He was doing a show at Westbury.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, however old I was at that point, and I knew who he was because I'm a huge fan of music. So I'm like, "Oh, Eddie Money." He had makeup on.
You took a picture with
I took a picture with him.
Oh, did you?
That's
another
just
thing,
the kind
though,
of place. Like it was one of those places, and it still is, where you never know who you're going to meet. And it's interesting because it's in the middle of Hempstead Turnpike. It's not like a walking. It's not in a city. So So it's always like interesting to me how these like big famous people always find their way in there because you got to drive in, you got to make a U-turn on Hempstead Turnpike. It's not the easiest, you're not just walking by your favorite Italian joint, in New York City.
Just walking in.
It's like you really got to make a point to go to Borrelli's that night. So it was always cool to see people in there.
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld would come in because his sister lived like 2 miles away in Belmar, and they would come regularly.
There was actually a story. One of the waiters told me that he had a bad interaction with Jerry Seinfeld. Like the waiter tried to say something from, Seinfeld, and he goes, "Oh, you've seen it?" Oh, like I kind of like he was like, "Oh, I get it," and he like, and I've always heard that being like, "I hate that."
I
know.
Can't stand
it's
it.
the same thing as someone going up to Dave being like, "1 bite," being like, "I eat the pizza."
No, we went and got the book, the sign.
Oh, is that
from the theater magazines? Oh, you just happen to have that on you?
Oh, the playbill, yeah.
And then
I did the line.
I will say, is that roll homemade?
Yeah, he makes these.
Yes.
Do you make? Can I see that real quick?
I mean, at this point, it's pretty. There you go.
But my whole thing is that looking over your menu today, I know that if Borrelli's was to make a burger, and I've brought this up to other Italian restaurant people because the rolls are always kind of, a little bit more footballish than they are round when you see your homemade rolls and whatnot. If you were to make just a big burger with some sort of,
we could do those round.
Yeah, like cherry pepper aioli, a little bit of arugula and some fontina cheese. That seems like it's just shit that would fly off the menu for you. Do you guys have a burger on the menu?
So we have another place in Long Beach, which you can have.
I didn't know that.
Called Borrelli's Tap Room.
It's awesome.
And
we did a partnership with this bar that was like not doing well. We turned it into a Borrelli's, put some money into to turn into a tap room. By the way, get this with the sauce. That's the money. That's the money.
By the way, that's family, right?
Yeah.
Like people, I would eat this if he handed it to me between his two toes. Like honestly, you could have kicked it to me and I would have fucking caught it in my mouth.
We do these wood-fired sandwiches there because we're the brick oven pizza. So we have to get you down there to test the.
Yeah, dude.
I was talking to my manager.
Wood fires sandwiches.
He listens to your shows. Got to get large to do the wood fired.
Yeah, large is huge. You're a huge get in the food industry now.
Thank you for saying that.
You
You see how you were a little bit demure when I was giving you compliments? I was like, you're right. Yeah.
No, he said you're going there. Make them have.
Well, when you asked us to come on the show, I was like, this is a huge opportunity because my dad has such a great story, and I think it's often looked at as just like a second, like people know of it as Borrelli's through Barstool, just like as my dad being the crazy, Islander guy that's next to me. But like there really is a true, incredible story there. Like, Laredo, the pizza chef, his thumbs go sideways. He's made over 2 million pizzas in his life. I've tried to do the math before. It's well over 1 million. It's insane. How old is he?
84.
84. He's been working there since how long?
1967.
He walked in with a German guy, right?
He walked in with just a suitcase, looking for a job.
Someone
called my uncle. I have this guy.
Never stopped.
Because we need a pizza man. We'll teach him. Taught him. They put him apartment in their own house. And
ever since then, he doesn't know anything. He's never Americanized. You ask him right now who the president is. He goes, I don't know.
Really?
He's like, he's been here for 60 years.
Pizza.
Nothing. Oh, like Laredo, what'd you do yesterday? He's like, I do. What do you do? Like he doesn't know words. He doesn't know life. He has no idea what's going on.
But he's probably missed 3 days of work in 59 years.
Never misses a day. I always remember too. It's the weirdest thing. You know how like you have these weird memories of someone telling you something. He always told me that if you take a freaking comb and you smack your head really hard to the point where it almost bleeds, it's good for your hair. So you probably should have done that when
I should have. Yeah, I mean, that's. Like, I wish I would have had you on 10 years ago.
This guy has he's 88 years old. He's got all this white hair. It's unbelievable. It's like an afro at this point. It's just amazing memories, but it's a really cool place. So I'm very thankful that you had us on just to hear a little bit more about it because, things don't last forever. And the fact that he still got this thing rolling is incredible.
Yeah, because if it does stop, if Borrelli's does decide to pack it up and stop, and you had said it before, 30 people have a ruined Christmas, right? It's so much more than just the Borrelli family, extended Borrelli family, your brothers, sisters, all, your dad's, kin and all that kind of stuff. There's so many people that get affected by it. And, we had Stratus Morphigan on here a long time ago. He's great name, Stratus Morphigan.
Incredible.
Yeah. And he has all these restaurants in New York City and he's very political. He does not like the way the city runs it for small businesses and stuff. And he tries to put apart. So did Joe Isidori about how it's just much more than him and his wife being able to buy shiny things. He's like putting kids through fucking college.
Yeah.
Kids that he's known now for 30 years.
Yeah.
Or, for all intents and purposes, this guy, with the backwards thumbs who's been making pizza for you. He's essentially an indentured servant. I don't want to call a spade a spade. It's kind of slavery.
He didn't get a chance to live.
Yeah, but he's probably as happy as a clam, right? Probably rescued him from someplace that was a lot worse. So he's around shooting the shit with the boys. He doesn't give a fuck who his representative is and stuff. And I think that's kind of beautiful. I will tell you that when I try to convince people to put burgers on the menu, they do come back and say, my problem is that once people find out you have a good burger, they only order burgers. And then it kind of detracts from the stuff, the veal chop valdesano, which you really want to put inside of them. So maybe there's like a 12 burger a night type thing you can do because that's what goes viral.
In our area is like hamburger heaven from Meadowbrook Parkway to the Wanto Parkway, which is like a 1 mile strip.
Right.
There's like 17 burger places.
Well, that's the other thing, Mark. You got to see what East Meadow's turned into. It's fucking.
I haven't been in ages.
It's burger.
It's everything's
every chain.
It's Borrelli's, 71 years, family owned, and then everything from there until Levittown
Sonic
is
to Wendy's to
Sonic, McDonald's,
King,
Taco
Shake Shack,
Bell,
Burger City.
There's a place called Burger City, and it's a mom and pop burger spot.
Which I'm pissed
line
off
out the
about.
door. And it's become this place where everyone brings their cars in and they rev their engines. Everyone looks at their nice cars. It's unreal. Burger with it's got the sesame seeds on the bun. And it's a quarter
Potato
pounder.
It's
like All American. You've heard about All American?
Oh, I've been to All American.
Okay,
it's kind of by
Massapequa.
Yeah, kind of by Stu.
Yeah,
I think
right by Stu.
yeah.
Stu loves All American. Burger City's got a great burger. I would put it up against All American. As crazy as that sounds, people are going to throw another brick through our door.
Yeah, you're fucked.
But right next to Burger City now, they just put a Shake Shack. I'm talking 11 feet. No. It's comical. 11 feet. Where you are to me, there's a Shake Shack now that's just opening, and there's Burger City. And I think that the guy who owns that land is going to be like, Burger City's not going to be able to afford the rent in a couple of years, and he's going to be gone. And Shake Shack, which is a huge corporation, will pay me whatever I throw in front of them. And that's what's going to happen. So
Probably
like
the lease is
Borrelli's
up
now
in 5 years, and they'll just throw them.
Now you got Borrelli's. We own the land, which is a great thing. But like you're
that's
competing with. Next door is Chick-fil-A. Next door to us is a Chick-fil-A. So we have a line passing Borrelli's to go to Chick-fil-A so that they want $11 chicken and whatever their special is. It drives me crazy.
But don't you think, though, that you're in a little bit of a sweet spot then because it's an Italian restaurant and they haven't been able to go fast casual Italian ever.
Right.
Like Sparrows, right? Or Olive Garden or whatever jumps to mind. Macaroni grills.
Yeah.
I'm wincing as I say these. Maggiano's.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Take a pasta
The
home.
Disgraziad. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
those places are busy.
Oh, are they? Okay, like if they were to open up an Olive Garden next to Borrelli's, I would burn down the Olive Garden for you, just so you know, a little
There's
Jewish
one,
lightning.
There's one like 2 miles away, but they're
Do they ton it?
Yeah.
Do they?
They do.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm not saying that those places take away business. It's just like it's just changed like the outlook of
I don't
what, like
like
that
it.
town used to look like. It's just like now anything on Hempstead Turnpike's like, oh, it's like fast food cheap. It's like, no, we've got like an unbelievable story right here.
Right.
And now it's surrounded by just corporate, just fast food bullshit.
I'm surprised that they
crazy.
let it happen because it does cheapen the neighborhood. To me, I think
it's
it does.
wild.
Like when you walk through and it's all chain after chain after chain. We used to go down to some place in Florida and it had no, where the hell was it? It was on the Gulf side. We used to take the kids there. Captiva.
Okay.
And Captiva had no chains.
Awesome.
So you take your golf cart off of the, the property and you go in and you have some stone claws for breakfast, like a fucking gentleman, like that type of thing. And I feel like I need to get away from that stuff more often than not because we don't have any options. And I don't mean from a health perspective, but if I was driving home from a long day and I had to go to an Arby's, no shot at Arby's, right? I mean, I did a very good review of their fish sandwich, or to a place next door where your wife was playing the mandolin while you were cutting cheese with a piano wire and Frankie was scooping a little bit of pickled vegetables and dried sausage out to me with a small glass of red wine. There's no fucking comparison. Why are we opening up more Arby's?
Right.
Why don't we get more piano wire and mandolins
Money,
and Frankie's
man.
kind of in
Bottom
there?
line.
And I guess that's what it is.
Use with piano wire.
What's that?
We do use with piano.
Oh, yeah, of
We
course.
use the guitar strings.
Oh, okay.
And it's the thing.
What do you think of the whole rock and roll lifestyle of this asshole, by the way? That's another thing that kind of, and he's going to say, well, PFT is very talented and Roan's a very talented thing and stuff like that.
The drum.
He's a good drummer. Yeah. And I've been with you at a couple of the shows, right? And
number one fan.
I've had my son backstage with you guys, the whole deal.
Guitar,
he does okay. And I'm telling you right now, it's a great show. It's a great fun show. They cultivate a very good set list that's approachable to everyone, even old guys like me. I love it. And they're talented musicians. Cool. It's another fucking thing you stepped in.
I feel very lucky. I do. And like when I'm up there, my family's healthy. My dad's there. My mom's there. They're at my shows. And we're all at Barstool. We're like at the peak of our lives. I know like we're all different ages and different sizes and different whatever, but like this is it. Hold
on a sec. Do you mind if I stop? Do you mind if I stop that? Do you mind if I stop that? No, I'm talking now. Did you fucking see that? Can we run back that clip? Right? So Frankie, and again, so if you get to work here, you're very lucky. I agree. But Frankie had said, specifically, we're all at the peak of our lives. And then, he went like that, and I know he wasn't pointing to his dad. And so he's looking at me. He's like, and some people are at the end of their lives. You know what I mean? But go ahead, make the rest of your point, jerk off.
No, it's just like,
no, please make it.
When you talk about like cool things like that, like having everyone around to experience it, that's the thing that I love the most about this place is that we do get to do cool stuff. You do get to go to great restaurants and try out the coolest stuff in the world. Yeah. Like I get to go and play a show, which I never thought I'd be able to do, and play golf courses. And you get to go to NASCAR races, and every single person that goes inside the car knows who you are. It's the coolest thing of all time. Yeah. So for us to experience that with people like my dad or my mom or my father-in-law, like we talked about, that's the thing that drives me here at this point. It's not like make the most money I possibly can, which is obviously all of our goals is to make money. But for me, it's like while we have this access that no one in this world, you live one life. How lucky are we that we get all this fucking access? We're on the other side of the ropes. We're on the other side of the fucking track. Like that stuff to me, if I can bring more people onto that side, that's why I want to do this stuff. If I can do it for 20 more years, that's what will drive me.
I do tell people in production, because we have some very, very talented production people here. We have people that can make something out of nothing. Ian's one of them.
Yeah.
I don't say that often, right? You can imagine fucking big head on his asshole.
Right now.
And I know that the majority of those people can make more money elsewhere. Yeah. They can, particularly on the editing and all that kind of stuff. But I'm like, but kind of experience the magic here before you do it, because you're going to regret that year that you made 50 grand extra, but the guys you worked with at Barstool were, hanging out in a Super Bowl, like Fasoli. Yeah. Like to see that fucking weirdo crying his eyes out and all that stuff at a losing Super Bowl and, creating those memories. You can't put a price tag on that. What I've been able to do with my kids since I started here, my kids didn't give a shit about, where I was before. It's made me closer to my family.
Yeah.
So it is a blessing, even for people who are at the end of their lives.
No, I would say that you're definitely like, I look towards what you do. And every time we're on the road, you have your family with you, which is like, that's what I would aspire to be. It's like, I want as many people that are close to me to experience what I've been lucky enough to experience. So to have him on the show and in the office is awesome. So thank you for inviting us. And
I appreciate that.
This adds to it. Really.
I will tell you, I'm so glad that I got Don's name wrong. Yeah. I'm so glad I called him Dom, because he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve anymore. I'm gonna end this quick. I thought.
I want to say one thing before you.
Please, no. We're still going to talk about the final questions, so you can say whatever you'd like.
No, obviously we're there 70 years, but we wouldn't be there without the Barstool Fund.
Oh, yeah, that's a good thing to point out, too. I think it's one of those things that gets glanced over.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. I mean, when you're talking about tens of millions of dollars, I don't know what people who are watching contribute to.
40 million?
I think it was over 40
I thought it was 6. Okay, so let's hit the middle with 50 million.
Yeah.
50. Yeah.
I don't know what you contribute to charities, and whatever you do, God bless you for it. Dave threw $50 million at people who are dying on the fucking vine during a global pandemic.
Yeah. Started with him.
With him. Yeah.
Borrelli's fund at first.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it was?
We were sitting in a,
slow it down. T-shirt. Slow it down. I apologize then.
This hoodie is not.
I have it. No. Yeah. I have that t-shirt. I think I bought it.
I'll always remember we're on our way to a pizza review. We're in the middle of Manhattan. COVID has been rampant and restaurants had been closed for 5-6 months. Borrelli's had been closed and we were just doing minimal takeout. And he was trying to figure out ways to bring, people would give my dad money. They would send Venmos from the community and he would not just take the money. He would actually make that amount in food and bring it to a hospital and deliver to all the nurses and doctors because he didn't want to take a handout. He wanted to make sure if you were giving me $10,000, he's crying now.
You cry all the time. If you didn't cry on my show,
if you give me $10,000, I'm going to make $10,000 worth of food and bring it to the hospital.
He would $10 meals and bring them.
Yeah,
so
whatever.
$5,000.
Yeah,
it would be 500 meals.
So, and I would go with him up because he was carrying them himself. It was insane. So we would go to all these different hospitals and we would drop them off. And the nurses and the doctors were so thankful because they were working overtime. It was obviously an insane time in our lives. So that was happening. He was getting by to the point where, like, I think that I mean, you could probably speak to it more than me. He's got tears rolling down his face.
That's okay.
It was going to close. I mean, however well Borrelli's did for our whole entire lives, he had like no money left in the bank account because he had 30 workers and he refused to have them not get paid. He knew that they still had bills to pay. They had kids that had to go to school. They had all these things. So he's like, I'll go down with the ship, which is a fucking crazy thing to see happen. A lot of these
doesn't happen anymore.
A lot of these people just stopped and they just held on to what they had because they're like, I worked this hard. I deserve all this money. And he's like, no, if I don't have it, nobody has, if nobody else has it, I'm not having it either. So I was telling Dave was asking, as good of a person as he is, was asking all the time, how's Borrelli's doing? Because he was getting frustrated with what the government was doing. He was getting frustrated with local businesses were going through. And I was like pretty nervous to even tell him, I'm like, I think Borrelli's is closing. I'm like, I don't know what the world's going to be like, but I don't think Borrelli's going to be here anymore. And he's like, that's fucking crazy. I'm like, yeah, they won't let people go inside the restaurant. Yeah. I mean, my dad and we would walk through the restaurant and all the tables would be up and the lights would be off. And I would ask him, we would go watch an Islander game. You can go back, that first Islander game that started the whole run where we had all 500 people in there. They were the first one, you and I went to the restaurant. It was our first time in the restaurant in like 4 months together. And all the, there was cobwebs on the top of the fucking seats. And I'm like, Dad, we're never going to have people in here again. This is insane. Yeah. Like, what will it feel like to have people in this restaurant again? We'll never see it again. You're going to close. And you fast forward, Dave says we have to do something. And he goes, why don't we sell a shirt and like see how well it does? And like, we'll call it the Borrelli's Fund. So I sent him the logo. He put like a little Barstool Fund thing on the side because he ended up changing it to the Barstool Fund because he's like, this thing I think has legs. So then he calls my dad, him and Erica call my dad, and they're like, we're going to get you through the month, like whatever your expenses are, we're going to get you because things are going to start opening up. And then he took that, he was able to pay off some taxes or whatever the fees or whatever had accumulated.
Nobody went on unemployment, so his staff stayed on.
Right.
Really?
So like whatever whatever he had accumulated for that month, like it was starting, he was in over his head. So they got him to the next month and then that got him on his feet. And then Dave realized that look how many people are in the same position. And all of a sudden, whatever started with Barstool, whatever started with Borrelli's turned into $60 million, $50 million. It's
That's
like
outstanding.
I'm without him asking.
Like, even though it's 2020, it's good to keep that. Like my 9/11 blog. Like I think it's important to keep that story.
We read it every year.
I think it's important that people hear that story more often than not. I'm glad that you were able to tell it. Yeah. Honest to God, I am. And we'll clip the shit out of it, obviously, because I think that's I don't know. It's the most noble thing that Barstool has ever done.
Dave couldn't go a day. I could tell he couldn't get his mind off it. Like when he asked me, what's going on with Borrelli's? I'm like, they're not letting people go in. He's like, why? Yeah. He was getting angry. And that turned into the greatest raising of money that we've ever seen from just a singular. Like I've never seen someone galvanize community like that, right? Like every person I know bought something for the Barstool Fund. We all pitched in. Right. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And there was no personal gain from it.
And you saw people try to replicate it at a much smaller scale, but those people all seem like they were just running lemonade stands because the way that David used his platform and his popularity to raise that number that we're talking about, that amorphous $50 million number, that's a unicorn too, right? Yeah. Like where else does that happen? Oh. You could see guys who are a lot richer than Dave maybe cut a huge check, but the way that he did that was
he
unbelievable.
Would call you up on a Friday and say you accepted to the fund, and by Monday or Tuesday it was in your bank account.
Really? It
was insane.
In your account.
And I will tell you too, so when they were putting together a group of people to sort of look over the fund, they had asked, one of the people had asked me if I had any interest in it. And they had said that the reason that they wanted to have more eyes on it is they didn't want anyone to ever say that Barstool took the 25% that DoorDash takes. Right. Yeah. Like they wanted to make sure that there was no VIGs involved with this. Didn't make a dollar. Like, Paul Newman does a very good job selling dressing and getting it to something. But the, Red Cross, only 40% gets to the kids or some shit like that. The Barstool Fund, it was unbelievable the percentage that went from your donations into the pockets of people who are trying to save their businesses. Yeah. And we had no experience I was part of it. Dave and Barstool had no experience in running a charity like that before. And it's been wild. Yeah. I think it doesn't get sung enough. So I'm glad that we were able to kiss Dave's ass a little bit on the show.
Again, with Miss Peaches, with the dogs.
Oh, fuck that
Same
dog.
thing.
Come on.
Come on
Weird,
now.
weird nipples
Same
on.
thing.
My dog's cuter. No, I mean,
No,
I'm
no.
just joking. Yeah, he's saving dogs. Like, I mean, I remember when we were doing that when Liz, remember when Liz had some sort of charity thing and she wanted everyone to donate stuff?
Yeah.
And so somebody paid like $15,000 to go to dinner with me and Willie and to like save the New York SPCA. So we've always been very good to dogs. And obviously the families of fallen officers and firemen. I think Barstool does it as good as anybody. And then the small business fund too. So it's, I don't know. I say it's the most noble thing. I talk a lot about Zero Block 30 because they were saving lives. Like the suicide rate among veterans was so big. So that was also up there with being some of the most noble stuff that I've seen since I've gotten here. But the Small Business Fund is right up there as well.
Well, it just goes to, I have that thought of wanting to share my experiences because I feel very lucky to be here. And Dave has that as well, as you can see when he brings Fasoli's to the Super Bowl and all that. But that same thought for him where he's like, if this is happening to me, I have to use this for good. You know what I mean? That's really cool that that's at the core of our business. Because there's a lot of people when they run the businesses that get to the sizes of Barstool's, like what Barstool is at, they do not have that same sentiment and how to live their life. They do not.
But don't you see it's almost exactly the sentiment that your dad has?
Right.
So your dad deserves like to be a recipient of that fund, going along with what you said. I want to make sure these guys don't have to go on unemployment and they can pay their family even at the, I don't know, detriment to your own family at times. Without
when Dave tried to fire me the second week when I was at Barstool, I was like, "You're like my second dad. Like you just gotta you gotta teach me more stuff." It's like really what he is.
Really? Yeah. That's cool.
Like he brought me up until I was like 20 in the business world, and then I just threw everything at Dave.
Yeah.
He taught me everything on how to be like in the real world, because the restaurant business is its own world.
Yes.
And then I had to learn how to like not be late, you know, because I didn't have my pushover dad that would never yell at me, right? Like all of a sudden I told Dave I was going home at 5 o'clock. He's like, "All right, I won't see you tomorrow." You know
really?
what I mean? Like, yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's cool. And I think too, putting a tent over this circus that is Barstool is pretty tough, particularly for a guy that's still trying to make content like he does. But I think he does a very good job with it for the most part. All right, let's do final questions. You ready for them?
Yeah.
I'm assuming a lot of these are going to be the same. How do you take your eggs in the morning?
Oh, I like them over medium.
Over easy.
Okay, so a little bit more of a man's order. How do you take your steak?
So mine's changing. It was medium rare, and now it's medium.
You're going to medium just for everything, or is it?
Yeah, well, I've always been medium with a burger, and now I'm medium with a steak because it's getting way too rare. It's insane. I don't know what's happening.
Steakhouse medium rare is rare.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Charred on the outside, medium rare.
Okay. Yeah. Blue on the inside? Are you one of those guys that still has it mowing?
Sometimes. I won't send it back if it's mowing.
That's what I'm saying. It's old school guys, Frankie. You just got to sit here. What you go to fast food?
My wife, she goes, "Is this rare?" I said, "No."
Yeah. Just eat it. But does your wife do it rare also? Because that's something that's always.
She doesn't like it really rare. No.
Okay.
Medium.
What's a go-to fast food order? I'm asking for you. Do you ever go to fast food?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you go?
Probably that Burger City double cheeseburger with mayonnaise and ketchup.
Really?
Onion.
What's your go-to drunk fast food order?
Oh, I'm two soft taco supreme, no tomatoes, Crunchwrap Supreme, and side of cinnamon twist from Taco Bell.
It's crazy that when I ask people what their go-to drunk fast food order is, 9 times out of 10 it's Taco Bell.
Dude, Taco Bell's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
If Taco Bell's trying to throw the bag at Barstool, we need to get a Taco Bell sponsor.
It'd be the easiest thing in the
Pepsi,
world.
they're right in there.
I talk about it all the time, you know, and the
like
packets and shit
Taco
like that.
See, I don't throw any sauces on my Taco Bell.
Really?
I'm missing out.
I like the fire.
Yeah, you love fire. This guy has you're probably the same. You love spice?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like a spice whore. Everything's got to have a spice. Like, do you have any
Really?
taste buds left?
Yeah, I do jalapeno soy sauce.
Okay.
So like I cut up a jalapeno seeds and all, and I just let it sit in the soy sauce, and that's what I add. A little bit of ponzu, and then that's how I do my steaks afterwards. If you could recommend one restaurant anywhere in the world outside of Borrelli's, what would it be?
Well, talk about that.
Frankie, you travel a lot.
Yeah.
So you might have, and this guy doesn't get out of the house as much.
I go to a lot of restaurants.
Yeah, that's true. You are. Give me a restaurant.
We go out a lot. Well, in Italian, I always said it before, Grasso's in Cold Spring Harbor.
Grasso's.
Good meal with entertainment.
I used to go to a place called Fianona's in New Hyde Park, and they used to do a rigatoni and cabbage, peasant cooking. It had nothing but chicken broth, cabbage, rigatoni, ton of black pepper, and a ton of grated parm on it. Holy shit, it used to blow my mind.
We have a steakhouse in our own town that we love. It's called Major's.
That was going to be what I was going to say.
Major's, okay. What's the one I went to in Long Island? It's like 2 names. Steakhouse in Long Island has 2 names.
Peter Luger?
No. Yeah, imagine that'd be a disgrace for me. But it sort of has that. I'll think about it now. I want to.
Ryan Cooper.
That's it.
I think Majors.
They're all part of the same ownership.
Okay.
There's a place in East Meadow, right next to Borrelli's,
school.
old school. They've been there. They treat us really
Captain's
well. Right
jackets.
across the street from where we grew up. I could always ride my bike there. Really, really good. And they had the Delmonico ribeye in there.
Yeah.
It was like $25. You got side mashed potatoes and the best wedge salad of all time with that vinaigrette dressing that'll burn the back of your throat if you breathe it in. You start coughing.
It's almost acrid.
Everyone's like, "Whoa, is he all right?" I'm like, "It's the wedge salad, the crumbled blue cheese. That's my number one, man. I love
That's Major's Steakhouse.
Major's Steakhouse, East Meadow.
In East Meadow.
Yeah.
And then yours was Grasso's.
It was an old restaurant. Matter of fact, my christening was in that building. It was called the Keyhole back then.
Get out of here.
And then it was Dr. Generosity, a famous place where all the Islanders went.
And all the Jets
80s,
too, yeah.
And the Jets, yep. And now it's Majors. Yeah.
Did you deal anything with Mangold when he was around? Did you know Nick at all?
Mangold ever came to Borrelli's, did he?
He was the first guest on this show.
Were they
Awesome.
practicing? If they were practicing, he
Maybe.
probably came in.
Okay. And then you didn't want Willie in there, right? He's never turned down a fucking free meal. What meal do you wish you can get back? The person who made it and is no longer with us, the restaurant is closed, or your taste has just changed. What's a meal you wish you can get back? Frank, you can go first.
Shiro, Japan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a huge hibachi slut, man.
Are you really?
Hibachi it up. I'm going to hibachi tomorrow night. I told Hannah, I'm like, we're going to hibachi tomorrow.
When are you done?
Shiro of Japan in Mineola. It was Carl Place, I guess.
Yeah.
Carl Place, right across from Roosevelt Field Mall, was like all these hibachi places are so gimmicky. This was like a real high-end hibachi spot. When we went, it was different, and the way they did their fried rice was different. They didn't throw all the huge chunks of vegetables in there. It was just
big
crazy
zucchinis.
amount of onion and a crazy amount of those little bits of eggs and the perfect amount of fucking soy sauce and ginger sauce. And they burnt the rice, so it was a little bit crispy.
Ooh,
dude, I'm telling you, I'll never get that back. And now it's a Northwell Health. You got your heart checked there. How funny is that? Now he goes and gets his heart checked there, where we were eating
too much
hibachi.
gyros.
Yeah, eating too much gyros. It still smells like it in the back. It still smells.
You can't get that out.
No,
you can't white
but
vinegar
they went
that
out of business. They had one in Queens, which we used to go to. Also, we were Shiro fanatics.
Really?
So much so when they were closing, they couldn't stay open anymore. When they were closing, we asked them for their recipe on how they made fried rice, and they gave it to my sister.
Get the fuck out of here.
Wrote it on a piece of paper.
So Shiro's was no longer with us. Otherwise, you go. What's a meal you wish you can get back?
I can't think of one.
Did your mom make anything
back
big?
on like Hempstead Turnpike that you used to stop and get on
What
your way
about?
home?
Did your grandmother make pastina?
Yeah.
Oh, what about?
I'm not putting anything in your mouth.
What about those
still feel
cookies
like
that
I
like
get-
Millie used to make? What were those cookies that you always used to be at Nanny and Pop Pop's house?
Yeah, like the old vanilla cookies. Just dip it in the sugar and white
Sure.
on the end.
Yeah.
Or the sesame seed ones.
Right.
Like to get that, like the old school.
What did grandkids call you?
Oh, this is a whole point of contention.
It must
I got
be.
I have a son.
Yeah.
Like I always
So
want
my-
them to call him Pop Pop because that was my Pop Pop.
Mine too. Pop up.
But now,
So my oldest granddaughter was 12. When she was born, she couldn't say grandpa. So she said peepaw.
Okay.
So they call me peepaw.
You don't like it?
preposterous. Yeah, it's just- I'm like, oh, he Peepaw's coming, and then he always said, I say, why is it Peepaw? He goes, that's what she called me. I'm like, what if she called you an asshole? Would that be your name?
Right. Yeah.
You know, just whatever comes out is your name.
No, because
What if
now
she went,
What does she call your wife?
my other grandson,
Gia.
Gia,
It's like-
and the other he calls her Gaga now.
Really?
It's Gia or Gaga.
It's getting a little out of hand.
It's getting out of hand.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see.
I think we're gonna just call you whatever Frankie wants.
Whatever he says.
Yeah,
he
whatever
makes
he says.
something else.
Yeah.
I call you Poo Poo.
I hope for the best. Yeah. What's the Tim Duncan of foods for you?
This one's tough.
It's a tough one. Clem, it was the chicken cutlet, like just a fried breaded chicken cutlet, and the Italian protein bar. I call that. You know, like there's certain things that sort of hit right down the middle all the time.
So in Borrelli's, we have a house-made monogut with a creamy ricotta. And it's baked in
This can't be a Tim Duncan.
It's easily. I got to be honest with you. I
Manigot?
never order manigot.
and
I
you
never
get
order
the meat
manigot
sauce,
unless somebody
and you
tells
take
me.
that homemade bread with butter and you dip that in the sauce and bread.
So never misses.
Yeah,
It's a home run.
and it's not pasta. It's almost like a crepe, right?
Yeah.
More so. Yeah, that's
It's fresh ricotta, not frozen. Where I would think 90% of these pizza restaurants a frozen Monagut, and they throw it in. You get that cottage cheese type.
Oh, I can't
cheese
stand it.
ravioli inside.
Yeah.
It's never like really creamy.
By the way, why can't you have an answer without your son being like, that's not a fucking thing, right? Call me old, question your Monaguts.
Well, that's not.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree with Frankie there. It might be a little too flashy.
It's so flashy.
It's a little flashy.
Monaguts is too
as hell.
flashy?
For Tim
Big
Duncan?
Monagut, and now all of a sudden we're dipping bread in it, so we're getting way too flashy with it.
I'll take it.
For me,
By the way, it's my show.
For me,
Monagut stands.
For me, my go-to whenever I know I need something that's going to fill me up that I know I'm going to like, and this might sound ridiculous, it's tuna salad.
Okay.
I love tuna salad.
I had an argument.
I can have it with crisps. I can have it with pretzels. I can have it with those little pieces of bread, like the little whatever those things are, those hard, I forgot the brand name, but I can have that every single day.
Okay.
I really can. And no one talks about tuna salad. At golf courses, you get a little tuna cup. I love it.
I had an argument with the guy who played Kevin on The Office.
Yeah.
Brian Baumgartner.
Yeah.
And
like the number one host, number one guest on Foreplay. We always joke about it.
he's great. And he does that thing with Cooper Manning and Kenny Mayne, I think.
Yeah.
So he came on and he had asked me what was my favorite golf course snack. And I used to play the early bird back nine at Crab Meadow, which is on Long Island. And we would play off season, winter rules and stuff like that. So it would always be like brisk in the morning. So every morning before we'd go out, and we'd be teeing off as soon as the sun went up. So it's still cold. I'd get a soup, like a beef barley soup from the thing. I'd put it in there and I would just be sipping on soup for the first couple of holes. And I loved it. Like you sip on the soup, you get out there and you skull one. Yeah. And he laughed at me. He's like, you just stupidest thing ever. Cause he only plays in the desert. I was like, what's yours? He's like, I like a tuna cup. I'm like, go fuck yourself in a tuna cup. But that's what he is.
Now.
Tuna cup is big.
Yeah. Ice cold tuna cup. Fills you up. Even a chicken salad cup.
Why not? And I'm going to close with this. When you guys get put to death, I'm assuming that it's not a hate crime. It's a rage murder because somebody says something inappropriate about your grandkid or something like that. When you're going to be put to death and they rap on your cell the day before and say, what do you want? Your last meal before you swing off this mortal coil. What's your death row meal?
Mine would definitely be pizza.
Okay.
I mean,
a pizza guy his whole life, you got it.
I eat pizza every day, 24 hours a day.
Really?
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
How do you feel about toppings?
Toppings, I love onions and sausage.
That's old school. I mean, nobody says onions anymore. Nobody fucking says onions.
Sausage and peppers.
Yeah. How do you feel about the pepperoni that turns into the little ashtray with the pork oil inside? Oof, that's the thing. All right, so you're grabbing a pizza. It's very easy to do for you. What do you get when you're by the way, I had asked this about Stu Feiner. He got comfortable. He's like, I'm doing 8-ball Coke and then going right into this. I'm going to do that. Yeah. What do you think?
Mine is, I'm going to go a hibachi meal, as crazy as it is.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
I'm going shrimp. I'm going steak. I'm going fried rice, the salad. I'm going the soup. I'll even I'll just do like a rainbow roll to start because I love sushi. So I'll start with that. And then on the way home, I'd love to get Ralph's Italian ices. I'm going to go half chocolate
Staten Island's
peanut butter.
Finest, right?
Long Island, but half.
Was it? Didn't it start Ralph's?
Did Ralph start in Staten Island?
The one that I used to go to is across the street from Danino's. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not going to claim Ralph's, but maybe you can look that up.
Yeah. Ralph's across the street from All American Burger too. There's one right there too. Yeah.
Delicious. But yeah, I like a half peanut butter and a half chocolate peanut butter. I like the bottom has the chunks of peanut butter. So
Staten Island.
Ah, fuck.
It's an island. The whole deal.
They can have it.
All right. So I'm going to wrap up. You're going to end with Ralph's Ice. If you're being put to death, what's the last sweet thing that you're going to have? And why am I touching you?
Italian cheesecake.
A little Italian cheesecake.
No spumoni ice cream. You love spumoni. You love pistachio.
I do. But
you wouldn't have a pistachio ice cream?
Italian cheesecake with ricotta.
Ooh.
Yeah. I will tell you, we had a pistachio ice cream, homemade pistachio ice cream. They put it in one of those like martini glasses where they smeared the inside with Nutella. Then they put the pistachio ice cream and a couple of almond cookies on top of it. So I'm a tortoni guy too. Like I love almonds. You give it to me all you want. All right, I'm wrapping up. So Borrelli's is the name of the restaurant, but what's the second one that I don't know about?
Borrelli's in Long Beach. It's like the number one bar in Long Beach. Yeah, Borrelli's Tap Room.
Borrelli's Tap Room in Long Beach.
It's great. Really good vibe. Great place to watch a game.
There's a line to get in every weekend.
Really?
It's unbelievable. It's nuts what it's turned into.
Excellent.
So shout out to Quinn and the whole team that's run it, but they're really doing well for the Borrelli name.
Stop there and try the wood fire. Grilled
fire. I will. Yeah. I mean, if you guys are cool with it, I'll reach out to him first. When I get out to Long Island, I'm going to try and hit like 3 or 4 places, but I keep doing the same thing. I wait. And then as it gets closer to the summer, it's an abomination getting to the island.
Long Beach would be a good spot for you to try a bunch of places. They've got good delis. They got a lot of like famous things in Long Beach. So.
Okay,
because it's kind of its own world. When you're on Long Beach, you're on the West End. You don't venture out, so it's got this nice culture around it. Right, really cool.
I like that.
To be a part of it.
Yeah. And what do you need to promote, if anything?
Yeah, we've got Barstool Classics running right now, which you can't get into because it's sold out.
Sold out.
I'm saying that Internet Invitational. That's the biggest thing that we got coming up. So watch for that this fall whenever it comes out. And we're
Foreplay once a week.
Foreplay twice a week. Kevin Kisner's full time on board, and it's awesome. It's absolutely incredible what he's done for us.
I appreciate you guys.
Like this pro world. It's cool.
I want to not only tell you how much I appreciate you guys coming in. I want to, lay the gauntlet down for people who are coming in after these guys. That there's plenty more in the kitchenette area too. It's an absolute pleasure talking again, Mr. Borrelli. It's nice to see you, Frankie. Obviously, give the whole family my hello.
Will do.
Yeah, and my love for my wife, and my daughter too. Alrighty. All right, that's it, guys. We'll be right back. All right, so those are the Borrellis. I say it all the time. Some of my favorite people at Barstool, but I do. I have a lot of friends here, and I love them. Go to Borrelli's. Get yourself out to Long Island. You'll feel like family there. And continue to watch and support Foreplay because those guys do it the right way. And I said it on the podcast, their golf tournament, I've been to a lot of corporate golf tournaments because of my former life. And they do theirs just right. It's fun, it's right, it's profitable, it's cool, it's competitive. So continue to support Frankie, and for Christ's sake, order 1,000 pies for Mr. Borrelli right now. All right, Ian, before we get out of here, New York is a buzz with the NBA Finals. New York Knicks versus San Antonio Spurs, right? Brunson versus Wemby. I will tell you, there's so much NBA on my feed lately, and there's so much food on my feed lately that when it comes together like what I had seen this week, it's a pleasure for me. And then I got fucking pissed because they were showing how some of these teams have their specialty sandwiches. One of them absolutely it was the Cavaliers. They ripped off my sandwich of the month. I came on here with you and I said, I'm going to make French toast out of those Uncrustables and then make a sandwich out of that. That's exactly what these assholes did in Cleveland. I'm so glad they got swept, right? Yeah, I'm so fucking glad they got swept.
That's fucking karma.
Isn't it? Yeah, you mess with us and you get the horns. So they took a deep fried peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They stacked it with Black Forest ham, smoked turkey, and Swiss cheese. The sandwich sold for $14.99. That's not bad. It's the only thing I like about this, and it's called the Crust Crusher. It's a lot to look at. And I got to be honest. I'm not saying I'm the first person that did that with an Uncrustable, but I was the most recent person who did it. So I'm taking the credit and saying that Cleveland had ripped me off. Fuck Cleveland.
And
actually, I like Cleveland as a town.
And the guy who gave us justice by putting away Cleveland in 4 games,
Brunson, yeah.
Jalen Brunson. Yeah. Have you heard of his breakfast order? This thing has gone absolutely beyond viral because he's, I don't know, the whole New Yorker thing of a bacon, egg, and whatever. Mm-hmm. So now our friend Clem, obviously big Knicks fan, has been on the show. We bring him up all the time because we love him. He says he's only eating his bacon, egg, and cheese is like his captain from now on, which is a bacon, egg, and cheese, everything bagel with a hash brown and Chipotle mayo. And Jalen Brunson says, thank me later. That was a tweet.
Yeah, I guess somebody had said to him, Jalen, I'm from New York. Let's order a chopped cheese the Aki way. And Aki obviously does a good job for the social media people out there, chopping up burgers on the flat top. And I love the way he just went back. Nah, fam. And he just gave, like he went up there and gave his order. And the order's a good one. Bacon, egg, and cheese, everyone adds a hash brown now. Hash brown there's nothing new and exciting about adding hash browns. My daughter gets hash browns on her breakfast sandwich now. But for us people who are salt, pepper, ketchup guys, I'm a salt, pepper, ketchup, hot sauce guy. And sometimes I don't feel like having the ketchup part. I think that I need my salt and pepper and I need my hot sauce. I almost get the ketchup. My point is replacing hot sauce and ketchup with Chipotle mayo is something that I'm interested in. It's something that I'm interested in. And it's not that I need to like Jalen Brunson anymore, but this is a very good New York answer. This isn't a guy who doesn't go and get these at bodegas. This is when he's eating this isn't the McDonald's CEO.
No,
you know when he's eating this, he's destroying this.
It is a ball knower ordered. And
It's a ball knower, yeah.
The giveaway for me was the everything bagel. That's how you know he's a ball knower.
So you know how I feel about sandwiches. I don't think that bagels and biscuits are the best vehicle for sandwiches, particularly at breakfast. I just don't. They're more knife and forky type me. I like bagels with a schmear. I like biscuits with butter and maybe a drizzle of honey. That's how I like them. Or smothered in gravy, knife and fork in it type stuff. So yeah, the actual vehicle I take my umbrage with, but I just put it on a Kaiser roll. I probably would get this on a Kaiser roll. Old Bagel in Hoboken, one of the first ones we did, they did the Stinger. Remember when we went there? It's like the scallion cream cheese and the hot honey and all that stuff. It's all great. The flavors all come together and whatnot. I'm not a huge bagel or biscuit sandwich guy. Other than that, and I know that's one of my personal hangups, so I let it go. Well done. And now I feel better about the Knicks in the playoffs. Because Wemby isn't getting that shit. Wemby's, like 2 carrot sticks and a fucking, half ounce of ranch. Fuck that guy.
That Brunson sandwich, you know what that'll make you say?
What's that?
It'll make you say, "Did big guy."
Now, what is that? Why did you send me that? It seems like it's pretty viral online that people are now doing like pineapple, spears of pineapple. It reminds me of the Kool-Lickle phase where everyone was making pickles in Kool-Aid. Right? You were just dropping pickles into Kool-Aid. You're drinking the Kool-Aid with the pickle juice in it, which is kind of an interesting thing. And the pickles are turning red. They're kind of doing that with fruit now, mainly with pineapple. You sent me some little white kid. I'm saying that because I don't know why I decided to say he was white, but he's definitively white. And they ask him about it, and you expect him to say something different, but he just says "dibby ga."
He goes, "Dat bit tuh," which is that bitch is tough. Like that's a good thing. Like this is a tough sandwich. Like good shit.
Oh, that bit.
It's that bit tuh, and then did big ga is this bitch's gas.
Oh, okay. I still don't like it, but yeah, I can see that now.
I don't care if you don't like it. I'm gonna make you say it in a voiceover soon.
Understood.
This sandwich made me say did big ga.
This bitch is gas.
How's that for a catchphrase instead of put a pin in this? Did big ga.
I kind of like this bitch is gas. Like this bitch is gas.
Did big ga.
But I don't know if I could go did big ga. The bitch.
No, you have to put a little stank. You gotta go did big ga.
Yeah, I got to put a little stank on it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll do it. I mean, whatever. I've sold my soul everywhere else in this fucking company. Right. So we're going to wrap it up. Thank you again for Frankie and Mr. Borrelli for making their trip out from Long Island to spend some time with us. Thank you guys for your continued support. Again, 5-star reviews, likes, follows, subscriptions, and all that stuff, and drop a question. And we will see you guys next week on You Gotta Try This.